That's all right, guys. Welcome back to Magic Ecosystem Builders Program. Good morning. I hope you guys are good. I'm Haikal Rizal, your project manager for this session. And today we are going to have a great session. All right. So before we start, I would like to request from you guys that you guys open up your cameras first so that we can take a small screenshot before you start. I hope it's okay for you guys. Hi guys. Can you guys open up your cameras? All right, let's go. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so we're gonna take a screenshot before we start. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, let me check. I think that was good. Yeah. All right. So for our session today, we have a trainer, Ji Sheng with us to share with us today. I'm so sorry. So without further ado, I present trainer Ji Sheng to take the spotlight. All right, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are energetic today. I know it's a Saturday. I know you guys have to really spend time. I mean, to really spare time and all that. But okay, at least you guys are here. So today we are going to talk about something that is very interesting. We are going to talk about technology. We are going to see how we can make use of technology and to really help us get to what we want to achieve. Let me just share my slides. Okay, so today we have the session. Hopefully everyone can see my slides. Okay, so my name is Ji Sheng, full name Ji Sheng Tan. Basically, I'm a director of Thrive Academy. In Thrive Academy, we do blockchain-related consultation. We help startups identify what is the technology pipeline that they should be using. We do proof of concept in terms of blockchain technology, in terms of AI technology. So this is a very brief idea of what Thrive Academy do. And before I started Thrive Academy, I started my first startup in quite some time ago, in 2014. So the product is called Qtix. So basically, it's a mobile queuing management system. So before we go to, say, post office, before we go to, say, service center, so we have to take a queuing number. So taking a queuing number can be sometimes take very long time. You have to sit there and wait. So in that case itself, we came up with the idea that why not we use an application. So before we reach the service center, we can then take a queuing number. So after getting the queuing number, we will then wait for our turn, maybe in the premise or maybe near the premise. So in that case itself, we are able to get an estimated time that it will reach. And then when the time is up, we just go there. So this was the idea back in 2014. But at that time, the problem was that many people don't use a smart device. So in that case itself, this project don't go very well. So we then pivoted and we actually moved to other projects and that's it. So I started another company. This time was cloud printing solutions. So what Sprintla do is that we integrate with the printers. So before you even reach your university, before you even reach the printing shop, you already make payment. And then the whole thing, the whole documents will be sent directly to the printer. So all you have to do is just go there and collect. So we started the project as part of the university program. And then from there, we got the ITEX Gold Award. So it's now printing in more than 30 printing shops before the COVID hits. So after the COVID hits, it doesn't do well again due to nobody goes to university, nobody wants to go to the printing. So in that case, it don't go well. Okay, so can I have some interactions, as in from you guys? Are you okay with me speaking English, or you prefer to mix? So, okay, selamat pagi semua. Boleh semua dalam chat.
English is fine.
Okay, English is fine. Okay, either is fine. Okay, in that case, I think I will just use English. And then in the breakout session, if you need me to re-explain any concepts or anything, we can do it in Malay language. It's fine. Okay. In that case itself, I have a helper from Trife Academy as well. His name is Megat. So Megat will be also helping to whether you need translations, whether you need help and guidance. So you can opt for either one of us to actually help you. So since we have everyone saying English is fine, then I will just continue in English. Yeah. If I'm speaking too fast, kindly stop me so I can go back and stop a little bit and re-explain what is going on. Because today we are going to look at what are the technologies that has been around us and how can we identify or how can we brainstorm an idea. I believe that you guys have already gone through and already got some ideas or some value proposition. But today, let's do some small exercise. Let's rethink again, what are the things that you want to change, okay? So after Sprintla, during Sprintla, actually, I started another project or another company that is working on data analytics. We basically track buses. We built a mobility analytics company. We track where is the buses. We track where they are right now, and then we track roughly how full is the bus by requiring a little bit of help from the bus driver. So in that case itself, we are able to tell the passengers that is waiting in maybe the stations after this, what is the ETA and where is the bus right now. So with that, you instead of waiting at a bus stop, maybe you can start drinking a teh tarik while waiting at the bus stop. Besides that, the most important thing is actually to get data. Without data, we will not be able to optimize our mobility fleet. So for example, in a lot of cases during the peak hours, the bus can be so full that it goes through every single bus station without actually carrying more people. Because in our cases is that during the morning working hours, we will be all going from residential area to the working area. So the bus will be picking people from all the residential area, and then it will be so full that it cannot pick people anymore until they reach the industrial area. So in that case itself, we need to optimize this. So how can we optimize this? When we see that the bus in front is already so full that they cannot fit in more people, what we do is that we send another bus that is an empty bus directly to, say, the 10th stop. And then from there, we will pick people up. So same goes to the other way around, where the bus is coming from, we already finished our work, we want to go back home. So in that case, we are taking the reverse route. We can send the bus directly to maybe the 10th station from the other side from there. So we can pick people back to their residential area. Don't have to wait for a long period of time. So in that case, that is the small things that we can do with data, with analytics. So besides that, we also built a garbage truck tracker. We know exactly what time the garbage truck went in, and then if there's a situation where the garbage truck cannot go in, say a lot of time people double park, garbage truck cannot go in. So, and then people complain that the garbage truck collector never came to their taman, never came to their house. So what we can do is that we get those people or the driver specifically to actually take a picture and upload to the cloud. In that case, we can know that, okay, we don't go in here because of double park. So when we have a lot of complaint from the garbage truck, then we can then send the police or the law enforcer to at least summon them or tow truck. So in that case, so to make it more efficient, so with data, we can do a lot of things. So this company focuses on mobility analytics. So this company is still running until today. But after that, I move on to become a training company, because from building technologies, from building this, I actually prefer to teach people to groom community. So in that case, I went on to start a training company. Back then in 2018, the blockchain wasn't very very booming in Malaysia. So what I do is that my aim was to actually help people to understand what is blockchain, and then to help people build some proof of concept and to advise startups. So just like you guys are community builders as well, ecosystem builders as well. So we try to build an ecosystem around this. So we then became AWS Activate partners, where we can accelerate companies and then help them with AWS credits if they need technical help. We focus much more on technical stuff and not really advice in general, but we do partner with other organizations in terms of funding, in terms of training and all that. So we train much more on the technical part. Okay, so that is the brief introduction of what I have done. So today we are going to look at the digitalization of whatever things that is happening around us. So we are going to have some sessions about how we do things like back then and how we do things now. Okay, this is how we learn. Previously, we go to school. Previously, we have to go for a physical magic class, and we have to really go physically. We cannot say train people that is very far away, because we have a time constraint. We have people that have to travel, say how many kilometers until they reach the place to go for the class. So in this case itself, today is totally different. And today we are using Zoom. We are using a lot of online tools. So we no longer need to have the barrier to learn from someone physically. So now we can access talent, or we can access trainers that is out of Malaysia. If they are in UK, they are in US, they don't have to take a long hours flight. They don't have to take a long haul flight just to explain to you the concepts, and we can all do it online. And besides Zoom call and all that, we actually have a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of resources that we can refer to instead of having to really teach. So this is you guys in the last week session. So some of you is here. So that is how we learn right now. So how do we work back then? Back then we work in an office scenario. So this is the office scenario. If we say bump into a problem, we need something to clarify. What we do is that we just go to your colleague's table and just say, hey, I bump into this problem. Can you solve it for me? Or how do you do this? How do you do that? But today, we do it slightly differently. We use a lot of tools. We use tools like Trello. We use tools like Discord. We use tools like a communication channel, Slack and all that, just to get our communication out and to plan things in a remote fashion. So in this case itself, we can't get immediate response, and we have to change our expectation as well. That means in situations, say we have a bug in the code. Last time, what we do is that we just go to our colleague's table and say, this bug, how do you fix it previously? Today, we have to write, say, issues, and then from there, they would then help us when they see the issues, which can be 30 minutes later or 1 hour later. In that case, we have to reprioritize and do something else. So this is how things have changed. Tools have changed as well. So when we are looking at all this, these are all opportunities. So because people can't go to the classroom right now, so that's why Zoom become a bigger company. Zoom make even more money by selling more licenses. So these are all this is what we call the business opportunity. For every problem, there is a solution. for every change in the process, we create new software, we create new opportunity. So it is important for ecosystem builder like us to really identify what are the problems or what are the things that we can change or the things that we can actually improve. So like in this case, how we work, there are a lot of tools, Trello, Slack, Discord, Atlassian, all this Jira and all these tools came out because we need a way to measure things. We need a way to share documents. That's why Dropbox work came out, Google Drive came out, and all this file sharing system came out to help you better send and receive files. So this is where we change. We change how we do things. So if you're thinking from a startup perspective, these are the things that we want to think. These are the way we want to brainstorm. We want to know how are we doing things today and how can we do it differently? What is the step-by-steps that involve in doing this? So in that case itself, we will then find a unique solution, or we can then find the solution. Okay, so everyone can still follow, right? Let me just continue. We have a lot of things to think here. Okay, so back then when we do farming, or even today in a lot of places we do farming, we still do farming the traditional way. That means we need a bigger land. We need to deal with pests. We need to deal with fertilizer. We need to deal with a lot of uncertainty, and we can't really scale that much. But it's relatively cheaper as well compared to how people is farming right now. In places like Singapore, in places like Hong Kong, they have no choice but to actually go for vertical farming. So in this picture over here, we can see that this is an entirely controlled environment. The same vegetable, or I would say the same one plot of land, say 1 acres, the same 1 acres is now 100 acres or 50 acres because they can stack 50 layers up. And because of it being indoor, we can then force people to actually sanitize themselves before they go out, or before they come in, they have to spray the whole body. They maybe have to wear gloves, they have to wear the shower cap, they have to wear the PPE for the plants so that they don't spread any diseases, they don't spread any bugs, they don't spread anything. So it remains bug-free without even putting pesticide. So the vegetables that is produced is actually much more healthier. And because we are able to control the lighting, we are able to control how much lighting is get throughout the whole day. In that case itself, we can even further bring down the cost, or even better control the quality of the food. It becomes more organic, it becomes more better. So that is with hydroponic, we can control. There's actually a newer system as well called Aquaponics, where they have fishes, say tilapia, in a bin beside. So they use the water to recycle with the plants. So in this case, the tilapia, the poops becomes a nutrient for the plants. So the plants then absorb it, and then they actually in a way clean the water, and the water is then supplied back to the fish. It becomes an ecosystem of poops, and then becomes nutrient, and then a clean water, and then recycle back. So this is a healthy situation, but it's harder to control because you need to know the technique to actually plant a plant, as well as technique to actually have a rare fish. So in that case, it's a 2-in-1, it's harder, but in other countries, they are already doing this. So we can expect that moving forward, more and more people might change how we farm. And these are one of it. These are part of it. Okay, besides this, how do we go shopping? Before this, we have to go shopping, we have to take a trolley, we have to spend 2 to 3 hours finding the food that we want, and then accidentally putting in additional snacks because we just feel like wanting to eat. and then a lot more different problems that may arise, as in suddenly your kids run around and then you have to go and find them, and a lot of things that we have to handle. But today, we get to order food as easy as staying at home. We get to get services like the Tesco that send directly to you. Now it's called Lotus. And then there's Asia Fresh. There's a lot of say Shopee and all that. They all go into this grocery market as well. So you can just do shopping online and they will send it to you. Shopee and Lazada actually change a lot in terms of how we shop things. We no longer need to go physically to shop things. We just have to stay at home, and when the post Laju or whoever Abang delivery came, we just collect them. Previously, we have to go rely on big machines that's not available at home. We were not aware of how do we sleep, how long hours do we sleep. We are not aware of our patterns, as in what time do we wake up, how long do we sleep, and then what is the current heart rate, and then some like blood measuring. So all these things now has gone from your things that you cannot get at home to be in your reach. So very easy, you can track how many hours you run today by just looking at your watch. Just take up your watch and you know how many hours you run that day, or how long you sleep. If you're not sleeping well for the past how many days, then you might want to think about improving that, because in that case itself, you live healthier, you live longer. So these are the things that have changed, and with better and better sensors, more and more accurate readings, we are able to now get to know ourselves better, besides the annual checkup that we do at whatever health labs and all that. Okay. So how do we pay parking? In the early days, we take a ticket. We have to go and pay at the machine. So in that case, it has been replaced by touch and go. So you just touch and go, and then you use touch and go when you enter the mall, and then when you want to exit, you use the same touch and go. But today they changed even more. You just have to drive in, and then the moment they capture your number plate, you can then just drive and go for whatever shopping and all that you need to do. And then when you want to come out, all you have to do is just to make payment online, or you already buying a credit card with the platform. You don't need to do anything. You just drive out. So in that case, the whole process is very different from back then until today. Even before the machine happens, we have to pay we have to get the cashier and all that. So a lot of iteration, and today is getting more and more high tech. So every time iteration happens, opportunities happen, we can then build a startup out of it. So how do we play games? Previously, we play physical games, and we have to play a board game outside. We have to get our friends to play board games together. But today, we do it differently. We can play games at home. We can play games while we stream the gameplay at Discord with your friend. We can play virtual reality game. That means you're not there, but it feels like you are there. So the gameplay has changed a lot as well. So there are a lot of opportunities for people that wants to build game. I'm not sure whether is there any communities that helps build gamers in the platform today, or do we have anyone that is actually working on? Okay, I think there's none. Okay, so let's move on. So last time we have to go and measure the items. We have to go and measure how big is the item. Say we want to get a new sofa. So when we want to get a new sofa, we have to bring a measuring tape. Taking a measuring tape, go there and measure. But today, with our smartphone, we are able to then use augmented reality to know how big it is, to see if it fits in before we even buy anything. So in that case, This is furniture buying. Okay. So can I have some interaction? You guys are still here? Boleh faham? Okay. Okay. Boleh faham ya? Kalau tak, saya boleh explain dalam bahasa Melayu ke, campur sikit ke, ataupun macam mana? Sebab nampaknya macam blur sikit ataupun, okay, all good, no worry, okay. So far so good, okay, good. So untuk agenda hari ini, kita nak pergi explore ataupun bincangkan strategi-strategi ataupun teknologi-teknologi yang bertukar dalam masa yang singkat ataupun masa yang terkini ataupun trend untuk teknologi yang baru. So tadi kita sudah tengok macam mana kita main game, macam mana kita bayar parking, macam mana nak track untuk say jalan berapa untuk hari ini dan sleeping quality, tidur berapa jam, semua tu. So ini semua adalah teknologi ataupun teknologi yang bertukar, dan setiap kali trend bertukar, banyak startup yang akan mendapat manfaat. Jadi kita akan tengok lagi apa lagi benda yang bertukar. Ini contoh IKEA. IKEA menggunakan teknologi Augmented Reality dalam mobile phone yang lebih canggih sikit lah. Bila you nak tengok sesuai ke tidak, you boleh guna aplikasi ini. Lepas tu satu simulation ataupun roughly betul ke, sesuai ke. Kalau tak payah beli yang ni. Kalaupun tak tukar color, semua dalam menggunakan aplikasi kamera ataupun fungsi kamera bersama dengan Augmented Reality. Okay.
Hi, I just want to ask you a question. With all of this example, right, and the utilization, what do you think about those that are not keen to move towards digitalizing their business, but prefer the old method? And how do we want to make sure that they can move towards the digitalization itself? Okay,
that's a very good question. So we have seen a lot of examples that people move with this digitalization. If we don't move, we will slowly fall behind. So that's why we need to be aware that technology is not really replacing us, but really helping us. Say, if we don't want to move, I could prefer still play gassing, and a lot of people don't really know how to play anymore, how to tie the string and how to throw the rope. In fact, I even when we are young, we no longer play this anymore. So things like Chongka was very nice when we play in the library back in our primary school. But this kind of thing, we wish that they still stay here, but at some point of time, things change. So we have to admit that things can change, but if we are still able to find a value proposition of not changing, it's actually still okay. If you want to run a cafe that is entirely based on, say, a traditional game, board games, it's okay. There are still people that is willing to spend some time, spend some quality time without the phone and all that. So those are the unique selling point. If that is your unique selling point, you need to highlight and you need to know what it is. But in some cases that I know in the GrabFood cases, so last time, how do we order food? We have to go to the shop. We have to queue up. We have to really do a lot of waiting and all that. But today we have GrabFood, we have Food Panda. And I know that they charge about 30%, which is actually very, very high for people with small margin. So in that case itself, we have to look from another angle. Do this platform help you increase your visibility? Do this platform actually helps you instead of burden you? So we have to think from this perspective. If we really can't take so much order, but we still want some of the visibility, maybe we don't take so many orders. We just take half of it and then focus on selling. But if we really don't have any business at all, so why not take them? So we should not neglect, or we should not ignore these kind of things. We should not ignore that technology will change. We have to adapt to it. We have no choice. Before this COVID era, everyone was talking about the benefits of remote working. They say, oh, you can access more talent, you can do this, you can do that. But if nobody take the action, or I would say the best chief change officer or strategy officer is actually the pandemic. It's sad that the pandemic is the one that forced us to go remotely so that we can access more talent pool, we can work from our home and all that. So there's pros and cons in everything. So just take it as in, we analyze them in a chart. We know what is the pro, what is the cons, and move some of it and slowly adapt to it. You, at some point of time, you will have to adapt, or otherwise you will really stay behind. Because without Grab, taxi don't really know where to fetch people. With applications like Grab and all that, they can come to your house, they can come to a specific GPS location. So last time we have to call a taxi, we have to say Jalan Mana, and then which particular bus stop. We have to say, we have to really tell them as precise as possible. And without GPS, some of the driver even ask you how to go to your house. So this kind of thing is changed by technology. Now we just get on board, and the taxi will just use whatever GPS and bring us there. So hope that actually answers you. In short, it's just that we have to analyze the pros and cons in changing, so we can really adapt to it. In food business example, I think the easiest way to digitalize their business, aside from using Grab Food and Grab Panda, is to offer a cashless payment. Yes, I agree. Because of all the shillings and all that, it can really have a problem. That is where we got a very unique proposition, just to share with you. Back then when I built Sprintla, the printing service, the bosses on average came back and tell us that they actually collect more money. They don't know why. They pay us a fee for the transfer, for the convenience, but they still end up with more money. So we can't jump to conclusion. Maybe some shilling went missing, maybe some money went missing. We don't know what happened, because too many people come in and out of the printing shop, and they just put like a bag of shilling there. Like after you pay 30 cents, they give back you 30 cents. And so they do a lot of calculation, they do a lot of shillings and all that. So it's very hard for them to calculate and keep track of things. But with digitalization, they just have to, the printer, they don't even have to provide a computer for people to print things. People use their laptop to upload their documents, and the documents go straight to the printer, not to their computers, not to anything, straight to the printer and start printing. And then we just do like a cover page that tells you that who is going to collect, what is the name of them, and what is the collection ID. They just flash their smartphone and say, I want to collect this document, and then you can just take it and go. So this is just one example, and there really is benefits to it. And taking a cashless payment is actually one of it. It's a very good initiative, or a very good way to digitize their business, because they no longer need to have a separate sheets to really keep track of how much they make or how much they earn. And in fact, a lot of hawkers don't even care about how much they take. They just see that, oh, at the end of the day, I got 100 ringgit, 200 ringgit. Okay, they just keep, and then tomorrow they will bring back the same funds, and then they continue. Oh, okay, still got this much, but they never know how much they sell. They never know how to calculate the profit margin. They never know how to really keep track of the business, and how do we make it more sustainable. And then sometimes they are making loss, but they are not aware of it. That means they thought they are selling burger at a 20% margin, but then in the long run, they can't even pay for rental. So this kind of situation can happen. So knowing the figures is very important, regardless of what you do, whether you are doing just a hawker, whether you are selling a service, whether you are doing a startup. So it's important for us to know our figures and really know the tools that we can actually use. There are a lot of tools that is provided for free initially, so we can tap on these kind of tools. Okay, so how we order food. So last time, how we submit receipts or how do we do claim is another process. We have to keep our petrol bills. We have to take a glue to really glue it and paste it in A4 paper. We need to photocopy it so that the things don't fade, that the receipt don't fade. So we have to really do a lot of things. And today we have applications that you just snap a picture, store it in the cloud. When auditors come, they just have to check the digital copy of it. You don't need to afraid that the receipt suddenly went white for whatever reason. And we have a better trail. That means you're as a company owner, as a business owner, we can easily tell how much each person is claiming, where most of the claiming goes to, and almost real time we get to submit our claims. So not so tedious. We don't forget or misplace our receipt, and that is one way of digitalizing. And in the future, if we can receive receiptless, that will be even better, even more eco-friendly. Because every day people spend this much amount of receipt paper. So if we can skip that, that will be even better. Oops. Okay, how do we own artwork? This might be something that you are familiar or you might not have heard of it at all. So previously, the artist that draws a very expensive art sell them in auction house. They sell them in a gallery. They sell them as some fine print in the gallery. But what if I tell you that today a digital artist can make money online? That means you design things that is in the form of PNG, in the form of a JPEG, and still make a lot of money. So on the current trend, the BPost every day that is on the right side. So this BPost every day is a collage of 5,000 pictures. That means about 13 years from this guy. He's one of the artists that have created, that is designer for big brands like Louis Vuitton and others. So he created 5,000 pictures. That is very, very, very huge. That in pixels that you can zoom until very small to individual pictures. And he managed to sell it as a non-fungible token or as a blockchain-based token, as a collectible, and sell for 69 million US dollars. That is like a big amount of money. 69 million is almost 70 million. In US dollars means about 280 million ringgit. So this kind of artwork never happens, or nobody imagined that it can happen on the digital world. So there is actually a digital auction hall right now that is allowing artists to actually sell things online. So pictures and all that. And then even luxury goods now have their warranty card or their authenticity card on the blockchain network as well. So these are the things that have changed. I'm just going to show you some of the words. I mean, things like blockchain, things like artificial intelligence, IoT, and all that. So I will go through them again later when we talk about different trends in technology. So you get to take some keywords back and really do some research on your own as well. So what do we call a gamers? Back then, we will always tell them, oh, don't play game. Don't keep playing games and all that. But today, gamers can be so big that they can represent a country in esports event. We have Dota player earning millions of dollars from the game tournament itself. There are Dota players that get endorsement from Razer, from all the computers, hardware, and all those brands that is willing to sponsor them as a sports event. So gamers are no longer called the nerd, no longer called the people that don't want to study, no longer being called in that way. We are giving gamers a different way of experience because they are using their brain resources, they are using their talent, they are using their problem-solving skills and agility in making the best gameplay. So that is how eSport came out. So don't think that people that just play computer games, now they are totally different. If they train well, they can be an esports player. So this is how we change in terms of gamers market. Let's look at how we wait for buses. So this is my previous startup as well. So previously we have to just wait until, don't know, 30 minutes, 1 hour, sitting in the bus stop, not knowing when it will come. So at least now we let you know where is the buses is, even though the accuracy is plus minus a few minutes, but at least you know how far it is. So things have changed. One of the changes. And let's look at the next example. Okay. So that's it. How we do things previously, how we go digitalization. This is just a part of it. This is just a small part of it, of what we have, what are the things that we do back then, how we do it differently, and how we do it right now. So moving forward, I'm going to share with you the trend in technology. That means, namely, what are the tools, or what are the things that you can consider looking at when it comes to building a startup or building a product. So digitalization is a way for us to identify what is the problem and what is the solution that we came out with. And knowing what is the trend in technology will get us how do we want to tackle the problem. That means, how do we want to use, what kind of technology we want to use. So the first trend or the first things that I want to recommend, that I want to explain is artificial intelligence. So AI is actually well known for the presence in image recognition, say speech recognition, ride sharing apps, mobile personal assistant, navigation apps, and a lot of other different applications. So what can an AI do? AI takes a data, whatever big data that you give them, someone writes a way to analyze them, and we then put them together as a decision. So we have so many, say, COVID cases out there. How do we want to control as a nation? So we first get the data, we get how many people have vaccinated, we get what is the rate where people that is vaccinated goes to hospital. We then get like, so this information will be just data, but put in analytics, we can then tell that with vaccination, the chances of going to hospital is actually lower. The chances of dying is getting lower. So vaccination do helps. So we then come out with the decision to say, okay, vaccination do helps. So we need to push the vaccination faster or even better. So this is one way. A lot more use cases that we can come out with. Say big data. We know that the buses don't work well. That's why we do analytics. Then we come up with a decision that use empty buses to skip some of the bus station and just go to the station. So a lot of different big data that we can actually collect, like farming cases as well. So all this big data can be collected, and through analysis, we can then train a model to give us a good decision. And in the long run, we will then be able to come out with automation. And this is where artificial intelligence come into play. Okay, so this is how machine learning identify a picture. So when you're driving an autonomous car, every second they are processing what are the things nearby, what can they see? They see bicycles, they see a person, they see cars, they see traffic light, they see trucks, they see a lot of things. So they have to keep on making decision to say, okay, the front road is okay, I will continue moving straight in this case. And then if somehow people coming out from the right side or the left side, they anticipate that people is going to enter the frame, they immediately change it. And they immediately either change direction, they slow down, or they will do whatever decision that was trained on. So this is how AI actually works. AI is no magic. You have to really understand how to break down a problem. So we then use data to say, okay, we train a model or we train AI that understand what is a moving car or what is a stopping car. Then we train another AI that is able to identify whether a person is walking or crossing the road and all that. Then we train another AI to actually know the traffic light, what it is trying to tell us to go, to stop, and all that. Then we train a bigger AI that combines all these decisions and really tell you to step on the pedal or to step on the brake. So this is how we break down a complex task by looking at different small parts. If you're able to build all these small parts, we'll then be able to build a big AI company. So AI don't say, don't work in that way and say, oh yeah, I have all this data, do something for me. It doesn't work that way. We have to see how to modularize them or how to make it a small component. Then in that case, AI can work. So AI is used in identifying where the people is. I mean, how many times they appear and whether they are in the crime database. So a lot of things, a lot of tracking system is actually started tracking people. In China, Beijing, there are so many CCTV that there's no crime that that can happen in their Beijing, because if you started, say, snatching or robbery in one place, the moment you go any place, the police is there waiting for you because they can anticipate your movement speed. They know roughly how fast you're running. They know which direction you're going, and they can immediately stop you there. So it becomes more secure in that sense. But at the same time, we are losing our privacy. So there are a lot of debate out there that technology is good, technology is bad, but we have to look at the good side and somehow give up the bad side. So it's a give and take thing. So there's no right or wrong. It's really just up to different people, different view. So in US and UK, they run this kind of system for a couple of months, and then for privacy reasons, they stopped it. So after knowing AI requires data to give you a decision, we then look into the next technology, the Internet of Things, the IoT. The IoT is actually connecting things, say your airplane, say your washing machine, say your smart lock, your car, a lot of things. Before this, we are not able to get this much of data because IoT is expensive. To get your washing machine to talk to you is expensive. To get your lights to talk to you and respond, turning on and turning off, is expensive. But with today, chips are getting cheaper. So we can then see that a smart TV is getting cheaper. Things like Alexa, things like those smart assistant is getting cheaper. So we can now expect more and more data is being generated. So we need people to really see how to explain or how to really separate the knowledge out from whatever data that we can generate. So IoT is one of it. Let's look at some of the IoT example. So in agriculture, we want to measure things like nitrogen, phosphorus, NPK. In short, it's just the NPK. You want to measure things like the temperature in the surrounding, the temperature in the soil, the humidity in the surrounding, and the water level in the soil, as well as is the water pH high or is the water pH low. So whether it's neutral, it's acidic, it's alkaline. This helps the plant to grow better. So we need to collect a lot of IoT data. So IoT data will then all send to a processing unit, and then the processing unit can then come out with a way to tell you that, okay, this is how we want to process it. This is you are too acidic, better to put in something that increase the pH. or you are lacking of nitrogen. That's why your plants is not getting the greenery, the green color that you see. It's lacking of phosphorus, so maybe the stems is not strong. So it's missing of the potassium. So in that case, the flowers and the fruits is not good. So these kind of things all can be changed or can be controlled if we know the data. So IoT came into this picture, helping us to collect data. Some of the successful use cases in Malaysia is actually including of prawn farming, as well as the paddy field. So by using IoT, the paddy field actually increase the yield by just doing one simple thing. If it is too dry, open up a gate and let water flow into the farm. If it is too wet, close the front gate that lets water flow in and open the downstream fencing. So some of the water can go out. So just by doing some of the automation, simple controlled automation, we are able to actually increase the farming yield. So last time how they do this is that they get the experience want to look at the sky. Hari ni akan hujan. Okay, adik pergi tutup. So that is how they do previously. Today with IoT, they can just put in sensors. They can just do some automation, automatically opening of the gate and closing of the gate. In that case itself, the farm, the yield actually gets better. And for the prawn farming, it's the same thing. The prawn farming, you don't want the water to be too hot. You don't want the water to be too cold. So how they do this is that when they see the water is too hot, they bring the netting down, so it becomes colder. If they see that it's too cold down there, then they can just bring the netting up, so the prawn gets the warmth that they want. And in today's era, they don't even use water outside. They just bring the whole prawn farming to indoor. So these are the things that is actually changing with technology. So one thing is that we must have the data. If you want to do AI, we must have the data. We must have a way to train the machine to understand the thing. So artificial intelligence is not like Terminator. They will not learn themselves. They don't suddenly jump out and say they want to kill all humans. It doesn't work that way. Don't worry about that. If in that, it still take very long time until that comes. But it is able to do a lot of small processing in a very short term of time. So every second, the Tesla car is taking of the surrounding in terms of LiDAR, in terms of pictures, in terms of identifying where is the car, where is the human, where is the stopping car, where is the moving car, and what is the speed of the car in front. They are doing all these things, and they come up with a decision whether to accelerate, to turn left, to turn right, or to actually hit the brake. So no magic behind. It's just a lot of calculation happening at a very near short time. So that is what makes a self-driving car possible. So IoT helps us to get more data, but we want to get even faster data. So that is where 5G come into picture. 5G is allowing change in terms of a better bandwidth and a faster packet size. That means in the 2G era, we call it the GPRS era, we can only make phone calls. We can only text people. We can only send SMS and phone call. But with 3G, we are able to now play, say, online game in a smoother fashion. But if you watch YouTube, sometimes it's still buffering a little. With 4G, we are able to do like this kind of session. You can speak at the same time. I can speak at the same time. We can all interact together at the same time. So this is what is with the 4G generation. With 5G, we are able to expect that we can do even faster. Say, collaborate on the same documents together. The moment I type, you can see. The moment someone types, you can see. Or some even says that with 5G, if we are fast enough, maybe some expert doctor can do an operation remotely. This is still in proof of concept. But if the speed is able to achieve that fast, we can do something like that. So more things to anticipate, more things to look into. You don't have to innovate in the 5G space. You just have to know that internet plan is getting better, is getting cheaper. Last time we cannot afford 100 Mbps. Now 100 Mbps is like a basic. And then some places even go to like 1000 Mbps, which is 1 Gbps. So things really change in terms of availability and affordability. So 5G is one of the technology. Drone technology is another one. Previously, we cannot spray pesticides at the tall tree. So sometimes the bugs started growing on the tall tree and suddenly the whole tree dies. So with drone technology, we are able to fly up and then spray some of the pesticide on the leaves of the tree, of a tall tree. So these are the things that have changed as well. So these are the technologies that I wanted to share. And the next thing is actually cloud computing. So when we talk about cloud computing, some people will think that cloud computing, cloud. So they look at the sky and think that cloud actually exists. But in actual fact, cloud computing is just a short-term or a way of saying that you don't host the server. The server is hosted elsewhere. The server is, because to run a server, it can be very noisy, it can be very hot, and a lot of cable management, and sometimes a slight careless, say you bring the water in and then somehow you drink water and accidentally spilled it. You can spoil the server that is causing you, say, 100,000 and so. So cloud computing changed the whole system, whole culture, by having them host the server for you. You can now access cloud that is so cheap that you can have a few server, one in US, one in Europe, to serve more customer or to serve more audience. But previously, we cannot do that if we are using in-premise computing. Next thing that changed, the blockchain. Many people think of blockchain as cryptocurrency. They think of it as e-wallet. But in fact, Bitcoin or this cryptocurrency is just one of the example of a blockchain technology. A blockchain technology helps you to really look at the bigger picture. They help you to have all transactions happen in the same public ledger, where we know this particular address make this transaction at this particular time. And we have a way to verify it. It's safe. We are able to know that this thing happened at this time, and we are able to record it. It's like a ledger in your company, debit credits, but it's distributed, meaning that we do some masking on, say, the business name and all that by using a blockchain address format. But we are able to then tell that this transaction happened at this point of time. So these are one of the way blockchain changes in cryptocurrency. Another way that it changes, is how people actually play games. So if you look up this game called Axie Infinity, the Philippines that actually went jobless play this game and actually make some earnings of it, make some income, make some steady income. They make about $20 per day by just playing game. So this has changed the ecosystem of how people play games. So this is just one example. There are more examples out there. So let's look at, so this is still part of the cryptocurrency related stuff. Let's look at something that's totally not cryptocurrency. Okay, so this is totally not cryptocurrency based blockchain application. So imagine this scenario where a customer actually pick up something, it goes to the sorting center, it transport, and then go to another sorting center, and then it transport, and then go to a hub, go to transport, go to delivery depot, and finally reach the receiver. If we are able to track where is your packages on blockchain, that means you cannot change any of the data. This might not be a good example. Let me give you another example. Let's say this is a halal business. We want to know which slaughterhouse actually slaughtered the chicken, whether their halal certification is still valid. And then who is actually the one that dispatched this batch of chicken. So we know which farm they are from. We know which chicken, which delivery partner that they are using. And then when it reached the shelf, and then when it reaches you. So is this technology already available? Yes, Nestle uses it for some of their milk formula to prevent those fake milk. So they use blockchain technology, and every batch have different trail and different QR code. You cannot find the QR code until you open up the can and it is actually inside it. Some of the Ensure Gold also uses this kind of technology. You can know like which batch or which farm the milk is actually harvested. So whether it's from Australia farm and all that. So in that case itself, it creates more trust, because blockchain, in short, is just creating trust in a way that we know whatever information that is put up cannot be changed. So if the company that put this information up is genuine, we know that this thing cannot be changed in the long run. So say today the batch actually expires in September 25th, but somehow people want to go to the database and because it's nearing to expiry date, they want to make a changes, say want to quickly scrap away the text and then write like 2022 for the expiry date. In this case, when we scan the QR, you'll know that the information will not change. It will still tell you that's 2021, even though the outer label is already changed. So this is how we can actually increase security with blockchain technology. Okay, augmented reality. One use cases is like IKEA just now. We want to know whether this color furniture fits in this place or whether how big it is. With today's AR technology, we are able to measure distance. We are able to really go down to very precise measurement. If you're using some of the more advanced phone, if you're using some of the less advanced phone, maybe they are still, they still need some refinement. But gaming is another one that uses augmented reality. So Pokemon Go makes everyone catch Pokemon on the street and really bring out the concept of augmented reality. So if you want to think about augmented reality, this is the one. The concept is here. But if you really want to look into what are the other use cases of augmented reality, that is really entirely up to the startup that you are actually mentoring or your own startup as well. Okay, so today virtual reality have changed to a really very different segment. We are able to see people coming to a virtual space to have a virtual meeting, but still see their interactions. That means they can still move hands and still have a 3D view of it. You can walk in the 3D space, sit down in a chair, and really interact with people. So this is how virtual reality have changed. This is what we call the metaverse. So if you have anyone working at the metaverse, don't laugh at them, because apparently a lot of launching show and all that is now moving to metaverse. So COVID have changed how we see things. So I've seen metaverse idea 3 years ago, 2017. So about three to 4 years ago. So at that time, I was like, nobody is going to use the metaverse. It's not very make sense. But today, everything makes sense because we can't go out like how we used to. So metaverse becomes a different way of interaction. If we only use Zoom, we will have this kind of situation where I'm talking, but I don't get a visual feedback, whether you're listening, whether you understand. If we are in a face-to-face meeting, at least the facial expression, I know that you look blur. I would then stop and really slow down and explain better. But today, we really have no choice because if everyone is not showing their face, we really have a trouble of really engaging with each other. So I can only assume that you guys are understanding. You guys can still follow through. You don't need explanation. But if you really need explanation, do write in the chat, because I have a separate screen here that is actually looking at the chat. So if you want to raise hand, if you want to use the chat, feel free to. So I have my another screen to actually just look at the slide. So I can still look at you guys. So virtual reality gaming. So this is what initially a lot of people use virtual reality for. So they want to play game in like a punching of air, and then the actual world that they are in is actually interacting as well. So that's it. The first session, we have gone through a lot of different technology and a lot of digitalization example, and a lot of different trend in technology that we can use. So I want to have the first exercise of today, which is to really think of what are the things that is not digitalized yet, and then list down the exact steps that you will do now, and try to think if you can do it differently. Try to think from this perspective. First, we think, can we analyze the data to use AI to somehow help us better? If we can use AI, how can we structure it in such a way that AI is actually fully useful? And then the next thing we want to look into is whether we need to collect data with IoT. If yes, what kind of information that we want to collect? What kind of data we want to collect? And then we then look into, do we need to create additional trust with blockchain? Or is there a need to use augmented reality for whatever reason? Or is there a need for virtual reality to be in place? So this is how we think about innovation, or we think about how to solve things with technology. So I will start a breakout session. If you want to brainstorm together, feel free to get us. There are two of us, Magat and myself. So two of us will be able to help you in the brainstorming process. And we can then think. So the first thing that you want to think of is actually the startup or the idea that you are working on for the past 2 weeks. You want to think of that first. List down every single possible things. And then we try to think of something else as well. Since we are community builders, we must be able to think out of the box. We must be able to go wild. To help you. Will help you in terms of identifying how do you want to engage them. That means when you meet one, say, startups, they come to you and say, I want to do ABC, then you will then know how to actually advise them.
Yeah, it depends on which stages the startups are from. But from my own personal experience, most startups coming to me or our department mostly seeking fundings lah. It's either fundings or upskilling.
Okay.
Yeah, the more like growth and ideation stage, usually they would be at the programs that the guys host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours will be like under scale ups, I think.
Okay. So maybe this session is much more like a general know-how kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. Because I don't have much prior experience or knowledge in startup. Maybe not as much as Elizabeth, because Elizabeth has more experiences than me dealing with tech startups in general. For me, I am more to social entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to get to know more on the growth journey of especially tech startups, because I don't deal with tech startups a lot. Mine is more on social innovations.
Yeah, but I think some social innovation, they will still have technology in mind. They still need to see how to scale beyond. Because last time when I do consulting, the social ones, they at least they need some website, or at least they need to set up some social media and all that before they can really reach a bigger audience.
Yeah, digitalization of startups or at least SMEs it's still a big thing in Sarawak because not a lot actually have a proper website or social media pages.
Okay, then I think the next session will then be more helpful to people, where I'll be sharing how to really create landing page with drag and drop and all that.
That sounds great.
Nice. Okay, looking forward to it.
Yep. So I think for now we will be working on just brainstorming, and then later after the breakout room we can just go back to the main session and maybe share some things, that some wow ideas that. So we do this kind of, because we are community builders. If we are able to go wow, then we are able to give some random wow ideas.
Agree.
So don't go the common steps where we talk about this is a sustainable business and all that. Let's just go wow and say I don't like how XYZ is being done, and I am thinking that AI can change it.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of people join this room right now. So I guess we are freely joining different rooms, right? Yeah.
I guess so. That's what I did because my original room was empty, so I went to join Elizabeth.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a very different kind of because usually when I teach this kind of courses, they already have their own startups. They already know each other. They will not join others' room. And I can see that Natasha is in another room. I mean, part of STech as well. Interesting. Okay, let's throw some ideas, some random ideas. Anyone wants to start?
I think for me personally, my feel of I personally feel like the EPF, the KWSP is not super crazy, not super wild. This is just something that I face myself.
Okay.
So I feel like their level of maybe their digitalization is still not so great, because for me I tried to apply online to nominate nominate a
create a
person.
nominee lah, yeah.
Yeah, a nominee. So I was like, okay, my ex-colleagues told me, oh, actually you can apply online. It's very easy. So I'm like, okay, I tried to apply online, and then like I fill the form, everything, but at the end of it, they still tell me like, oh, you have to print out this form. Yeah, go to the nearest branch and like scan your
verify yourself.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's the point of getting me to sign up online if I still have to go there physically? Like there should be like a method to, like what certain e-wallet does is you take a selfie with your IC.
Yep.
It should be
the
as
new
simple
KYC way.
Exactly. And then somehow with KWSP, like with the IC now and everything, it's always so packed. It's always so full of people, especially in this pandemic. I do not want to be in crowd. So I feel like maybe if they do take that step to make it more hands-off, more less in person, just verify IC. I mean, like your IC, you can just go through, just verify with the other departments, the JPN and all that. Then you're like, okay, this person is legit. I don't have to go there and scan my thumbprint.
Yep. That is actually what we call the National Identity Project in overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And so coincidentally, I just put a link in the chat. It's called the App National. Mm-hmm. So this is actually from MCMC. So they are doing a soal selidik bagi cadangan konsep aplikasi mudah alih nasional. So why not we just start our first initiative as a community builder to start filling up this one and complain about it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this existed. Oh, this is cool.
So actually, the government wants feedback from people, but people don't even know they are actually asking for feedback. Even as a semi within the government ecosystem, that means we are within Magic, we are within Sarawak, the development builders and all that. And by right, we should know about this. So at least when people complain, we can go there.
Yeah. Well, this is my first time hearing about this because I was never introduced. I think even part of my friends, my family also, I think Atika also is not aware of this. So
This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
Okay. Yeah, so since we are here, maybe we can, I can share this to everyone in the main session later.
It's good.
So from throwing ideas, we come up with a possible solution. I wouldn't say that filling up this one will change anything, but at least we put our voice as a citizen, as innovators, and let government know that we want something like this. So at least Mampu will know that, okay, we want something like this.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Croatia has done something similar like this national ID. They don't use physical IC card anymore. They have an app for that. As what do you call it? Like a digital IC lah, basically.
Yeah, that means they use a different way of identifying the same person. Okay, so we got one idea here. So it started off with not having a KYC or eKYC. This is actually a eKYC problem where in a lot of different countries, they are trying to do this. I have read about it, but I have not seen any initiatives in Malaysia yet. And the first initiative is actually via MySejahtera, the vaccine program. So that is like the first eKYC kind of initiative.
Oh, I see.
So imagine that MySejahtera, because we know that MySejahtera is the real person because you go vaccine, it is you. They confirm that the IC match with the MySejahtera. So we have some way to actually know that this person is equivalent. So why not expand that app as a national app? Then in that way, we can really have everything in one place.
Yeah. That's true. So that you don't
right. Now all Malaysian have MySejahtera, so why not putting everything there in the app? Alang-alang.
Yeah. And not just Malaysian, even foreigners use MySejahtera when they want to go in or out of the building.
Yes, that's true.
You get to type passport, and then if you want to get vaccinated in Malaysia, you still need to use your passport and MySejahtera app. So it becomes just go out of Malaysian citizen already. It's like a really truly KYC kind of application.
Speaking of tourism, right? I actually have like something in mind when it comes to that. I feel like tourism in Malaysia, we need more incentives. So like when I was in London 2 years ago, I went to their tour bus, and then we stopped by multiple locations lah. Along the way, they had this app where we can install, and then during the whole journey, they use artificial augmented reality, such as like filters, like the filters kind of thing. So we can scan our surroundings while we're in the bus. We can scan the surroundings outside the window, and then sometimes we can see filters or any things that appear on our screen, and then we catch it. Sort of like Pokemon Go, but it's for tours.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Malaysia should have something like that, like gamification of tourism. I always feel like that part is interesting.
Yep, I have get to know some startup doing this. I think last time when I was 2014 or something, I met like in Magic as well. They wanted to do ideas like this, but it's really hard to get funding if you are coming from a non-government perspective.
I see, because
so
Malaysia is like.
I think this is worth another. This is worth another filling up of the form already. I think if we brainstorm and then fill up the form, by the end of today, we can come up with at least 10 suggestions for them.
10 suggestions for the government, all from the same source.
Yeah. Because I participated in 2018 2018, I went to the Prime Minister office. I mean, they invited my association, Malaysia Blockchain Association, to give advice in terms of their government roadmap and planning. But I think all the suggestions never get implemented. Even I'm physically there. So I think next time we have to write down everything, we fill up the form, and then we write another email. We CC all the government departments.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
Yeah. The power of social media and viral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is a better way to push things forward. At that time, we suggested that government should look into cryptocurrency and take it more serious. If you don't legalize it, people will still use cryptocurrency the illegal way. So why not legalize it and you can tax it? So I think that part got implemented.
Oh, okay.
Other than that suggestion, I think nothing got implemented. We talk about because blockchain is able to let you have a single source of truth. So by right, the eKYC or the digital identity can be implemented in the government level with a blockchain technology. And actually, our vaccination card is on blockchain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
you mean the tracking behind my Sejahtera, is it?
Yeah, the My Sejahtera, not the My Sejahtera normal check-in and check-out part, only the vaccination module. It's actually with blockchain technology and it's accepted in UK and Singapore right now.
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, that part can be expanded into a full one. But at the end of the day, we can only raise awareness. We can only do our social part.
I'm just curious. I want to hear what you think about NFTs. Do you think this is a trend or is it here to stay?
I would say it's here to stay. But a lot of random artworks will not stay. But those the genuine one, or I mean those because one thing is that the traditional artwork that they put in museum actually still gets stolen. So one thing is that they get stolen. If you read about the news, they stole about on average more than 100 of artwork got missing, or whether it's those birds feathers and all that they chabut a bit here every time people go there visit, they chabut a bit here and there. So with NFT, it's preserving it in the digital world, and the ownership is you can see my picture. That means you can see Mona Lisa picture, but you never own it. So the ownership can be actually tracked on a digital ledger. So the concept, I think it will be there to stay. But those random artwork, I don't think they will stay. Those buying a stone, buying a random stone, a random weird whales, weird panda, whatever weird things.
I'm seeing a lot of Malaysian-based startups. This one was quite, I find quite shocking because from my observation with Bitcoin, Malaysia as a country, we don't really get on the hype train until much later. Since we now have the Luno app to buy and sell Bitcoin, buy and sell crypto.
Yep.
But NFT, it's so much faster because I feel like NFT was introduced not that long ago, at least not as long as crypto. And I've seen a lot of platforms and Malaysian-based apps trying to cash in on NFTs.
Yep. So I think last year itself, NFT started booming, and this NFT trend got into. I'm actually thinking, since Youth Ventures is here, should we all go back to our main room and then we can really do the brainstorming? Since we only have so little people, we don't need to separate into breakout rooms, right?
Yeah, sure, that'll be good.
I agree with that.
Let me just text Youth Ventures. Okay, we got everyone coming back already. Okay, so why I get you guys back is that just now when we are in a small breakout room, I realized that some of you switches room and all that. And I think it's a good idea that everyone come back to the main room and let's share our views on different things. So just now we were talking about government entities being silo. So like KWSP not knowing that you is indeed you. So even if you fill up things on the application forms and all that, you still need to go to the branch to make your physical KYC. So we were talking about why not we come out with an application to somehow centralize everyone. We tak sempat finish the discussion. Don't worry, I bring the whole discussion to the main room. So everyone discuss together and everyone can speak in this main session. So we just open until say 12 and let's just brainstorm something. So I just recap of what we have in our room just now. We were talking about how can government all comes together. So I was sharing this App National suggestion link that Mampu actually came out with this idea of everyone can give your cadangan or you can give your proposal. So this form itself is actually a soal selidik bagi cadangan. Let me just paste the link so I can see the header. Okay, so this is a joint collaboration between MCMC and the Mampu lah. So soal selidik bagi cadangan konsep aplikasi mudah alih nasional. So this survey wanted to come out with applications that help the nation become a better nation. One thing is that we see open data of COVID being really put into place. Collaborators outside of the government agency is able to collaborate and come out with a very cool dashboard. So just now we were discussing things like that, and then I think I should share this survey because this survey apparently don't reach a lot of us, even we are community builders. So as a community builders, we are supposed to actually spread and build even more people. So maybe if you are aware of this, we have already do our part in filling up our suggestion. They will actually collect more suggestions. So I have already shared the link. If you have time, you can take it. And then let's open the floor because we have a quite small group, I would say. So why not let's just discuss in this current room. So just now we talked about KWSP having to KYC yourself. Then roughly. So Natasha, maybe you can share what was your discussion just now. Then we can continue from there.
Yeah, so sorry, I was with my baby right now.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, initially I was with Nurul only in one group. So we have this same vision, not vision lah. We both work closely with students in teaching them. But with the pandemic coming on, of course, we always do online classes, right? So we try to think of how to enhance that, how to give a better experience for the students, because I think everyone are aware that right now students are tired of online classes and online program. So this is where I suggest to Nurul, maybe she can make use of a Gather Town. I can share you the link in a while. So this is the platform that my team are using as our virtual office. So we clock in at 9 and then we clock out at 6 p.m. So we macam jumpa there and just discuss, have a meeting. We even have our own private cubicle for us right there. Oh, thank you, Eli, for sharing the link. So this is actually free for 25 packs, and I think maybe Nurul can use that to enhance the classes that they are going to conduct in the future lah. And next we also have Andy and Priscilla coming in, but Emilia doesn't have the chance to present. So maybe Emilia, you want to share what you want to present just now yang tak sempat.
Yeah, not really to present. I'm just curious because I just have questions on that. So with all this kind of for example, the platform that you shared just now, I'm thinking like the access, because like one of the limitation for us to use this kind of virtual platform is that it use lots of it requires a faster internet speed, isn't it?
Actually, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So this is the thing that, you know, like it's interesting, but especially for us in this rural area, because like, for example, at home, I'm using Unify. It's supposed to be 300 Mbps, but even using Zoom, sometimes my connection is not very clear. I'm having trouble with this. And I'm just thinking, is there any other solution that, can, for us in this like lower speed area can explore, or how can we make something that is more interesting like that, but maybe require lesser speed of internet? I don't know, just like coming to my mind. Yeah, trainer, if you have.
Yeah, I agreed with your point, Emilia. It's true
Yeah.
that, of course, in urban area, students can benefit from this, but not for those that are in rural areas. So, at the moment, we don't have any platform that we can offer to the students in rural schools. But what we do is actually, we give them devices so that they can actually connect it to their laptop, or not laptop lah, their computer, in their mama computer. And we also uploaded all of the videos of the learning inside a pen drive, and we send to them. I mean, at this point, that is the best that we can do to them, because kalau tempat mereka pun tak ada a very good internet, I don't know how else we can help with that. Maybe there is one group that I know, they bring the VSET to the center, and they try to run the online classes over there lah. We haven't explored that yet. So if the other members have any suggestion on how to improve a better experience for rural schools or rural communities, please feel free to share to us. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Natasha. Yep. Back to the trainer, I guess.
Yep. Okay. So I think this is a very good problem that we are trying to see how to solve, but unfortunately, there's no a perfect way of doing this. But I'm thinking that whether or not peer-to-peer tools, back then we used torrent to somehow seed and do peer-to-peer sharing. There is actually some peer-to-peer technology that is riding on top of a blockchain that is called like IPFS and all that. So this technology is able to say, if you are my neighbor, and then maybe we are in the same condo, all of us is in the same condo. If one of us actually stream the file, we can then do a peer-to-peer sharing among us. So we don't have to, all of us don't have to go back to the same server. Because I think the biggest problem with the technology right now, because if you are in, say, a rural area or a kampong, usually your audience will be very close to each other. So maybe if there is a technology that is able to leverage on a peer-to-peer network, that might solve the problem. But we will not know until we do some prototype and really test it out whether it works. And I will note this down. Let's maybe go through another problem. Let's throw some problems, and then I try to search if you are able to solve anything. Okay, so what are the others discussing? Because I think there are like 3 rooms over here just now. Yep, any other one? I think just now, no, Atika and Elizabeth is having something to share as well. Do you want to share again your things that we have not covered?
Yeah, my idea or suggestion, I would say, in the areas of tourism, as we discussed just now, the gamification of tourism industry in Malaysia, because in Malaysia, the tourism is not really modernized. I would say it's all very, it's still being implemented in a traditional way from what I observe. So it would be great if we can implement some gamification or using virtual reality, especially when people visit heritage sites, right? So we want them to experience what actually happened during the zaman Hang Tuah, for example, the Brook era, what actually happened on that historical site. So it would be good if there's an app that uses augmented reality. So when people hover their camera on that site, they can see a simulated animation of what happened there. And yeah, Jerry said, I think you meant VR, right? Virtual reality as well. That uses VR to see the site like what happened, so they can experience, like, aside from just reading about it, they can experience as well what actually happened, and they can visualize it. Because at the moment, at least in Kuching lah, all of our historical sites, you only get to see plaques or pictures, and most probably not a very good one at that. It's not that immersive. So yeah, we should take advantage of the Malaysians' rich history and make it more immersive. I think that would really boost tourism, I think.
I agree with that, and I think if we further look into this problem, this can even be a startup on its own. Let's look at the problem and the solution side of it. So the problem with this is that we want a way to actually boost tourism. So that is one part of it. So we introduce augmented reality or maybe just virtual reality lah. You scan the QR code or something at the plate that is already available, and then you can do two things. One thing is to actually reward them like explorer badges, like I have been to this place. Then another one is actually to tell them a little bit story about what is happening and all that. Then another things that I can think of is really to award them, like say if you reach to this place, you can then claim like a points. And then how can this become a successful business is that, I mean, sustainable, I would not say successful, I would say sustainable, is that when they reach the area, you can actually recommend them to maybe places nearby, say different stores nearby. So they want to find food, the places for food and all that. So in that case itself, if you're able to say give discount vouchers, or how can we work with the merchants, think of some way that benefits both. That means we bring customer to you, and maybe you give some discounts to the people that is using. So in this case itself, the achievement part is what makes them proud, what makes them want to really check in more. And the points part is where we help the local merchant to make money. So I think in that case, that can become a startup that is sustainable on its own.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Because now a lot of people likes to collect points. They like, if you play games on Steam, you reach a certain map in the game, and then you get achievements. It's sort of like that with tourists as well, I guess. Do you think we can use blockchain for things like this?
Definitely.
One person uses their own blockchain address.
Yep, we can just say, okay, this is the blockchain address, and then you go to different places. You can collect the NFT or the stamps in this case, because they are just like the NFT that is granted to you. Yeah.
Pokemon Go make it tourism. Yeah.
So maybe you want to catch something while in different places. Not bad. Okay. Any others? Let's just brainstorm a little bit. Think about something that we don't like. Usually, when we talk about something that we don't like, we'll find some solutions to it. Before we move on to the next agenda for today, which is to understand what is a landing page and building a landing page. Do we have anything to share? And maybe later when we do landing page, we can then work on one of the ideas, or maybe just mock up the current idea and everyone work on it. And I think that will be something really cool. Because since we don't all come with an idea in mind, or we don't come from a startup perspective, then maybe we can come as a collaborative, a big family kind of collaborative, and then we can work on one idea itself, which is maybe the tourism part. And I think that will be something that turns the whole session into a really exciting one. Okay, so do we have any other things to add on? Or otherwise, I will just continue with the slides. So now we are moving on to really explain what is a landing page. So a landing page, we want to differentiate between a website and a landing page. So a website means the common full-fledged website that we see. And a landing page usually is designed for a specific purpose. So let's take Grab, for example. Grab itself is a company, is a big product, and they have their own website, a corporate website. So but they do have a landing page. For example, this Pay Later over here, Pay Later by Grab, is actually a landing page. So a landing page must have some of the essentials, key elements. So one that is, it will have a headline. So when it comes into a specific product or a specific features that they are launching, they will want to say, okay, we want to grab the visitor's attention. So inform that the visitors what your product or service is all about. So should be short, preferably only 10 words or less. So enjoy the flexible payment, Pay Later by Grab. So that's it. A very, very, very catchy headline. So this is how Grab actually tackles you. Later, I will show you the full website. Just now while I was doing, I actually accidentally dragged some of the slides away. So, okay, I usually export as a PDF, but this one I use Canva so I can get the slides movement and all that. So what is the landing page? So a landing page is a single page with a very specific targets. So the targets to actually get your visitors through your end goal. Say, clicking a button, filling up a form, and start doing something. So for Pay Later, just now it's very clear. All they want to do is just to tell you to subscribe to them or to really become part of them. So this is the conversion funnel. People comes in either through a paid search or through some organic search in your social media, or maybe through a referral program. That means your someone share these articles to them and all that. So visitors come into your landing page. Our objective is actually convert them to become a leads or to become a sales. So in this case, we want to look at the conversion funnel. We install tools like Google Analytics. We install tools like a tracking system. We install tools like Hotjar. We want to know when they come in, what they click the most. If you're not aware of Hotjar and all that, later I will just go through the website so we know what they are. If you have existing website, sometimes Hotjar can be something you want to look at. And if you're using just Wix, then Google Analytics is the go-to one. At least you have some tracking measures. So it must have a unique selling point. Like Wix.com will just tell you that it's free landing page. So they just ask you to start now. A very unique selling point. The moment you come to the landing page, you know that Wix asks you to start now. So define a point that differentiate with other people. So one thing is that they usually catch you with a free something, and then after you start, they ask you to upgrade to Pro. So they want you to break down the unique offers to the most basic level. Always break down to the free version, so that when they already in your platform, they already try your system, most probably they will convert into sales. If you ask them to straight away buy a credit card and all that, they might not even want to try it. So this is how to have a unique selling point, and it allows customers to actually understand why they should care and sets a clear expectation. So you must also tell them your key benefits. That means say, okay, you have two ways to pay later. One is you pay in a 4 monthly installment, or you decide to pay just next month. So these are the things that they tell you about their key features. So the benefits that actually describe the problem that you're solving. So provide a more detailed descriptions. So answer any questions your customers may have. So this is essential things of a landing page. Provide videos or images to better help the visitors understand the business concept, or to show some context, or rather just telling the maximum effects and all that. Okay, so use reinforcement statement so that the purpose of communicating a mid-experience message to the visitors is actually reached. That means you must make sure that you actually capture their attention. So this is the basics of landing page. So why not let's look at some example then. Okay, exercise time. So landing page in short is just to actually capture leads for you. So let's look at some example. Yeah, even the laggy problem happens in KL town. So it is indeed a legit ways that we want to solve. Even in KL, in high-rise building, we still have this problem, like slightly slow loading speed, but still bearable, okay? So Grab, this is their very catching main headers. Enjoy flexible payments, pay later by Grab. So they then tell you, why pay later? Okay, get what you want now and then pay for it later. So this is like a reinforcement statement. So pay later is here to bring you what you want, making payments for life pleasures easier and stress-free. This is the activation button. They ask you to activate now. So pay later, the smart way to actually pay for life's many pleasures. Then this is actually the detail. So there are actually two ways that you can pay later. One is to pay in 4 months installment. Another one is actually to pay next month. So this is how they sell you. And two, you are still not convinced because if you're scrolling down, you're still not convinced. So they tell you no interest, no fees. So pay only what are the price? I mean, pay only the price of what you are bringing home. So there's no interest, there's no upfront cost, no fees as long as you pay on time, repay on time. So here is actually no fees as long as you repay on time. So if you still don't convince yet, they give you more pictures and visuals. They tell you that, yeah, these are the brands that you will love. So why not shop online? So this is a very good landing page. They really sell it to you. And if you're still not convinced, you scroll down, they sell you more. And you scroll down, they actually sell you more. And they guide you through the process of using it. So like it is super easy to use, checkout in just 3 tabs, payback with ease. It is yours in just 2 minutes. So you take things home, you don't have to worry about it. And they even give you like frequently asked questions. So this is a very good example of a landing page. It's not selling you any of others Grab product. It's only selling you the pay later. And the call to action is very clear. Always ask you to put pay later as an option. Here they ask you to shop online, start using it, activate now. So these are the keywords that they use. And in fact, how do I find this page? Is through, if you type just like Grab pay later, it's actually a targeted ads. It's here they will show you ads instead of, so you see this is ads. So they buy ads so that you will immediately get to their landing page. So this is what differentiates a corporate website and a landing page. Because a lot of times people tell that, oh yeah, I have a website. So this is where we tell them that a website is not a landing page. A landing page should tell a call to action very well. Okay, so let's look at how do we build a landing page. We go to wix.com. We create a website. So this one is also another landing page on the website itself. So it just tells you that create a website you are proud of. Straight away, they ask you to get started. And then some people worry, oh, I don't have a credit card, can I? So they just tell you, try Wix, no credit card required. And then they will tell you that, oh, this is how it looks like, the freedom to create the websites you want, build your unique online presence, and professionally designed templates. So if we go to, say, sign in, can the homepage of a website be the landing page? Yes. As long as you don't design it until the common boring stuff, then it is actually a landing page. Because sometimes people do the very boring stuff like we are a company to do this. After you read the whole website, you see nothing about their product. You don't see any call to action. So if you want to really design a web page or a website to become your landing page, make sure that you have call to action on the first page itself. Then that is a good one. Okay, hope that answers. So now let's jump into Wix. So if you're not registered, just register. It's free. Don't need a credit card. This is what they claim. Let's build a landing page for our tourism app. So this tourism app should allow people to get achievement of where they have been to, right? This is the main catchy headline. So to start a website, it's pretty simple. Just go to my site and add a new site. Create a new site. And then pick a template. They will ask you to choose whether it's from scratch or pick a template. Let's choose the one that is picking a template. Okay, so you will see this page asking you about what kind of website you want to create. So we will just say AR or maybe a virtual reality. Let's see what they have. So the first step of creating a website is always to really pick your template, because we don't want to start everything from scratch. If you're not like a very big startup with a lot of designers and all that, we just want to start something quick. And we want to make sure that we have everything that we need. Okay, definitely not this kind of profile page. So we have to look for an app instead. Let's present everyone's website at the end of today. Present your landing page. So I think I will go with an app landing page. Different app landing page. There's a Bitcoin app landing page. There's okay. So there are a lot of different app landing page that we can choose from. Certain amount of catchy things like this coming soon. So we have like a subscribe. I think I will use this one. So just click on edit. Give it a name. So if you, after waiting for a while, you finally loaded to this page. This is where you can quickly edit a few things. So on the left side over here is where we have all the things like a team manager. So you can decide like what are the color themes that you want. And you can quickly just change, say, the whole theme. So the same application or the same thing can then use like a primary color, the secondary color, tertiary, and all that. So this is where we change the theme. So we just use the theme that looks like my slide just now. Okay. So changing of the background is just as simple as this. So since this is a travel app, we might want to use something that's more travel theme. Or we can just keep it as the current one. Okay, if we change things like this, then we have to really make sure that our text can be written, can really read and not being too cluttered. So in that case, I would go back to my original one. Just pick a solid colors we do. Okay, so the quickest thing that we do for a landing page is that we usually do the first thing. We change the logo. So this is a tourist app for Visit Malaysia. So Pokemon Go, and this will be the Visit Malaysia Go. So collect badges for understanding cultures. So this is our very big catchy words. Okay, I missed one part of yours. Did you choose to customize the site, or you choose the bigs to customize? Okay, I choose the right site. So I think it's called edit. When you log in, just go to like create a new site and then choose this one over here. This one, edit a template. So create your website with the editor and then edit the template. So after that, you can choose whatever template that you think is suitable for you. If you choose the wrong one, it's okay. Just go back to the dashboard, delete the whole thing, start again. I mean, just delete the site. It's free of charge. It allows you to actually test around. So collect badges for understanding the culture. So here you just write some words. If you want to change the font size, it's here. If you want to change the fonts, it's here. We want to have like some other ways of doing this, or all the tools is here. And then if you want to say change the whole picture, this one is basically just a mock-up of the app. So maybe we can take the Pokemon Go's or something that we want to mock up and then just change the picture. So we will then launch a very simple one-page or landing page that allows people to actually come and understand more. I think at the end of the session, I will change this picture to a mock-up that I will be creating. So we can start collecting emails. So this plugin over here is actually you just do the form setting. Okay, so here if you're in already, you can just say, okay, I want to manage the subscribers, I want to view the submission table, set up email notification. Usually we'll set up an email notification so we know, oh, someone just sent us an email. So even before we launch an application, we can already start a landing page. We can do like a very cool mock-up over here. And we can even put in like a videos of mock-up. And we can then immediately validate our ideas, whether people is going to use this. If they find this cool, we can even do like sharing it on social media, all without paying. Okay, so if I've already done this, I want to really just share it. So how do I share it? Click on the publishing button and I have already got my site. So just view site and ta-da. Okay, this might look not so nice. So what we can work around without paying, or we just want to quickly validate the ideas. When you create your username, like in this case, I put Ji Sheng 8. So when you create your username, I call my username as Visit Malaysia Go. In that case, I will then have a visitmalaysiago.wixsite.com. So this part is actually the name that you give to your website when you just created. So if I call this like a home, then in that case, I will then have like visitmalaysiago.wixsite.com/home. Wow, it looks just like an actual website without paying. And we get to collect the social media, we get to collect the emails if they subscribe to. And then if they come to like LinkedIn and all that, we can then start capturing the leads. So this is how we bootstrap, or we start a startup idea without paying anything. So this is like a cheating way. So I think that's it. Give you guys some time, poke around with it while I find a picture that is suitable, find some heritage place and some QR picture and all that. Okay.
Hi, I have one question.
Yep.
Okay, regarding this. So once we publish this website, okay, it will straight away people can straight away access to this website, right?
Yes.
Okay, so a second question is, once we publish, is there any do we have a access to like take it away? I mean, like not to publish it again. How to put it in a way? Sorry.
Yes, we can always go back to dashboard. We can always go back to dashboard and then pick the site, and then we just unpublish it.
Unpublish it. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can also link your domain when you somehow becomes bigger. You just pay for like the pro features. Then you can like remove the banner that says this site is created with Wix, and you can even link it to your own domain name.
Okay, got it. Thanks a lot.
So over here, you can always go to like the site actions, and then you can either you want to get some details and all that, you can actually just click on it, I think. Select and edit, and then you can just unpublish it. Just site action and then delete.
Hi, perhaps I can share my screen so it's easier to show you. I'm not really sure how to explain it also.
I think it's the left and the right side.
This one actually, can you see it?
This one is actually to tell you that if some screens is bigger, they are able to see the outside. But if the screen is smaller, they will be broken down into like two parts. In your mobile app, you might actually see it like being cut and then moved downwards.
Oh, so it's just like different resolutions of the screen or size of the screen.
So different size, they will show you like different columns. So that is like the columns line.
Oh.
So in my example, if I viewed it on mobile, it will be different. If I viewed it on desktop, it will be different.
Yes. Oh, I see. Okay. If I switch to mobile view, it won't. It's not going to change all of my design, right?
No. The things will still be there, and then you can see like how it is being changed.
Oh.
So you can then see the dotted line is actually being moved downwards.
Dotted line.
I mean the
Oh,
part
yeah,
that
I
is
see it.
supposed, yeah. So that is the guideline that they gave you.
I see. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. Happy editing.
Hi, Ji Sheng. I have a question to ask.
Yep.
So basically, like we have to create a landing page, right?
Yep.
But by the end of the day, it's like creating the whole website. Is that
No, okay. So by the end of today, you will create like a landing page. A landing page is, because when it comes to website and landing page,
yeah,
if you know
because
how to create a landing page, you will know how to create a website. But let's just focus on the landing page, and then later on we can then see how we want
because
to.
we
yeah.
choose the template, right? And then the template that I chose, for example, basically like is the whole page of it.
Okay, then you just take that template, pick one page, modify that page so that you have a call to action. That means you can
see.
ignore the other page says the about us and all those. You can just ignore.
Okay, so basically like on the first page is like what kind of information I want to get, right?
Yep.
So I just delete the whole other pages, which is not.
You can just ignore them and just focus on your main pages. So I have just took some just KLCC picture, some mockup, and just put like, oh, you earn a secret badge. So collecting. So this will be my landing page, and while publishing it, I can immediately start getting information. Even people, if they type here, say they type here to subscribe, then the information will be captured. So thank you for submitting, and immediately I will get my email already captured. So if you want to just test out whether a product is going to work or not, whether this is going to be something that you want might work, then you can actually just do some simple mockup like this. So all I change is just a picture, some text here and there, and that's it. I got my website. Okay, a few things that I want you all to really take care of when it comes to like editing a landing page and all that, is really to know what is the information, or what are the metrics that we can actually find here. So when we go to sites, we want to really view our analytics. We can always go back to our in the main page. The main page itself will then give us some business info, like say whether people come here or not, whether how many subscribers you have. So if you go to Wix main page, you will then see how many people actually see this page. So before we even jump to say happily do our product, we can actually just validate the ideas. If it is going to work, people is going to be interested, they will talk to you. Say if you have like a Twitter or your Facebook, people can actually come here and talk to you. So you can then validate an ideas. Okay, so this is the beauty of a landing page. So here itself, you can look into these few things. One thing is that you want to know your marketing, your analytics. So you want to know your traffic overviews. So you then can know like, okay, people come and people go. So how many people actually visited your sites? So these are the very important metrics that we want to check. We want to check like, okay, so now you don't have enough data. So if you have enough traffic, you will then know that, okay, people come in. So if you see a lot of people coming in, but nobody signed up, maybe you want to fine tune a little bit. So this is how we do the analytics part. And for SEO, search engine optimization, basically you can put a few keywords so that it's easier for people to find you. But for a landing page, it's still fine. But in the long full web page itself, you would then be very careful about this. And just now we see that we have a page where people fill up the forms, right? You can find it under the CRM, yeah, under the subscribe tools that you can actually get here, form submissions. So if you find from form submissions, you will know how many people actually put in their emails. So in that case, you can know, see, one form submitted. So you can see how many forms actually being submitted.
And all this is provided for you free of charge. You can start using it and get your validation rights. Okay, so just now I typed this just a few minutes ago while I demo. So you can see that my email actually came in. So if more people fill up their forms, you can see that people actually have interest in your project. Okay, so this is how basically I've gone through. Okay, just a small quick tips. If you want to like, okay, I want to see mobile view, how can I see it better? You can always inspect. So I mean, in Chrome, you can easily do inspect, and then you can then try different browsers. So here you can change from different phone, say Moto, say iPhone X. So you know, okay, on iPhone X, this is how it looks like. A little bit chacha, so go out of the boundary. So I might want to fine tune a little bit. Oh, okay, it's not loaded entirely. So when it loads well, Wix actually helps you to optimize this. So sometimes even the website that you code it out might not have this kind of features. So to do it quick and you don't need a tech guy, this is something that you can quickly prototype. So say I want to check iPhone 6. So okay, iPhone 6, you will just cut a little bit, but if you can still scroll, it's still fine. Maybe I want to check iPad, will it look weird? So okay, on iPad, here I can go for feet or maybe slightly bigger. So in this case itself, you can see that, okay, in iPad it's still good. Let me just rotate the iPad. So if we rotate the iPad, we refresh again. Sometimes we might require refresh because if you dynamically change things, it might not scale accordingly. So if I rotate my iPad in this way, okay, I think this is not render properly. If it renders properly, it will not be like this. So might need to refresh again. Or if it's still having this problem, that means this one is something that you want to see. That means you have to be careful of the lines that that you see just now, so that you don't go out of boundary. Okay, so this is how to get to this is just if you're on Chrome, just right click, inspect, and then pick this multiple phone device over here, toggle device toolbar. You can quickly see. You can quickly change between different. So yeah, this is an iPad view. So iPad should look like this. So just now, indeed, it was having a problem. Well, dynamically loading it. So just refresh should be fine. Okay, so now let's look at the how do we use this editor if we want to check the same thing. This one only allows you two views. They don't give you like iPad view, rotate here, rotate there, and all that. But it gives you a good enough mobile view and a good enough desktop view. So in this case, you can quickly make sure that these two all looks okay. So what if I want to add another things below when we want to launch? So we add this thing called a strip. So we can then just add additional strip. So this every column, I mean every row over here is called a strip. So you can have a row with two columns. So you just actually just poke around with this. So you might want to do something like let's look for some pictures. Maybe some mountain pictures. Okay, so this is how you add a strip. And then if you want to add anything in between, if you want it to be slightly bigger, you can just click and drag it so it becomes slightly bigger. If you want it to be smaller, just click and drag on it. Okay, if you want to add anything in between, if you want to play around with okay, I want a black background scrolling effect. Okay, I want a layout. So this one itself, we can always add columns. So above this one above is actually two columns, one at the left, one at the right. So let's just click add column. So if we click add column, okay, this is column 1, column 2. You can have different pictures for different columns, or you can ask them to have one big pictures and then different columns. So it's really just up to how you want to do it. And then you might want to add things like, say, a picture. So one side you want to add some free Wix picture. So if you can also drag your own pictures from outside. So it's really just up to your creativity, or if you just want it to be quick. So like in my case, I just want something to show it to you. So I just pick whatever from the media. Okay, then you can just drag it and make sure you fit it in the column. Okay, and then here you might want to put another picture or another text to say, okay, this is gonna be cool. So in this case, this one conflict with the background, then you want to change it to color. That one is just up to you how you want to do it. So this is just a quick demo of what you can do and what you can achieve in such a short time. Since we started all this, I think it's still not even an hour, and you guys have already come up with something. So yeah, give yourself a round of applause. That is a good one.
So we were at exercise 2, build a landing page with Wix. So register a Wix account. We have already done that. Find the template. Edit the template so that it looks like we already have a product that will be launching soon. So this is the first step of actually getting a product for validation. So let's move on to the next one. So now we want to look at not just a landing page. A landing page allows people to find you whether through a website, that means through social media, through other website, or through advertisement, or whatever means it is a website. So what about MVP? So what is exactly MVP? So minimum viable product, MVP. I wouldn't call this as a product per se. I would call this as a development technique in which a new product is introduced in the market with basic features, but enough to get the attention of the consumers. So the final product is released in the market only after getting sufficient feedback from the product's initial users. But bear in mind, we cannot keep building this product forever and ever and say that we are still not ready yet. So the ideology of a minimum viable product is actually to get things out, to validate ideas, to get feedbacks. So let's look at what is not an MVP, okay? So a lot of things can be an MVP, but what is not an MVP? So a lot of people, they shocked and they in the sense that they spend months and months and years building a product, and maybe after 3 years they launch the product. Then they realize that actually there's no user base that wanted to use the product. So don't be like them. We plan, we build, we iterate, and we get feedback as soon as possible. So it's about planning it, building it, getting people to test it, and then we iterate again. So bear in mind that MVP is not about the product, but about the development techniques, about the concept. So I believe last week you have learned from Trainer Exam regarding the double diamond, the agile methodology. So this is a very similar concept where we don't want to build something that nobody wants. We don't want to shock and theory. That's why we wanted to use something like this. So first we learn about what might be something that people want. We then build something, say a landing page as a start. Then we send to a few people. We tell them that we have this idea. So this is how it will gonna work. What do you think? So this is where we have the measure part. They might support you and fill up the pre-launch, give you their emails and all that. So we then fine-tune it. We learn a little bit more. We build a slightly better version. Every time we build, we ask people again, what do you think about the current version? We measure again, we rebuild. So this is the minimum viable product mindset or the technique. So let's look at the Facebook. The Facebook don't end up with all the rich features that they have today. They started with just a very simple, the Facebook is just a web page that allows you to put up your profile so that you get to know other people. You want to know people from the next university, you want to know people from your neighboring place and all that. So you use the Facebook. So this is the ideology. So where is Facebook right now? They have launched photos in somewhere around 2005, news feed somewhere around 2006, platform apps. This is where a lot of us come in. We started playing games. We started engaging with Facebook. Then we have this thing called real-time streams. Then the like button came out in 2009. Then the group came out in 2010, where we joined all the interest groups and started doing buying and selling and a lot of different random groups. Then messages came out. After Facebook Messenger came out, what happened is that they then bought WhatsApp over. They then bought Instagram to provide more picture-based kind of a situation instead of a massive Facebook that have a lot of features in it. And then they see that people like the idea of missing messages. That is where stories came into the picture. And then people like the current features on TikTok. Say it's the music, and then you try to act based on the rhythm. That is where Instagram Reels came out. So you can see that a lot of inspiration coming from other applications, some of which is actually a successful MVP from other people, and some of the MVP actually dies off. If you remember the poke features in the Facebook, it slowly dies off that nobody even care about that features anymore. And then some other features is actually dying off as well. So some make it, some don't make it. It's normal. So it's just iterating it and keep on coming out MVP for it. Okay, so now let's look at the evolution of MacBook, the Macintosh that we are using today. In 1976, it's just a big computer called the Apple I. And then after that, they innovate into Apple II, and then they implemented this, and then some sort of like a typewriter kind of things. And then slowly becomes smaller, becomes more cleaner, becomes more feature rich, and slowly wait until roughly around year 2000, where we have the MacBook Pro coming out. And then moving forward today, we have the final version, I mean, to date, of MacBook Pro. Okay, if you watch Apple's explanation of every time they launch a new product, say the recent one about the iPhone, they will always, you will always hear them say this word. Even in Steve Jobs era, they always say this word. We have fine-tuned and make you the best iPhone ever. Yeah, that at that point of time, it's the best iPhone. So this is how MVP works. You come out with the best iPhone, and then you just tell them, actually, it's just an MVP. I mean, in another way of saying. So the next year, they will tell you, it is the best iPhone we have ever made. So it will be the next best because of a new MVP came out. So this is like MVP as well, minimum viable product. And let's look at it in another angle. Some of the features for MacBook is actually MVP. Say they wanted to make the Facebook, in Mac, there's this messenger app that allows you to do FaceTime. So this FaceTime itself, now they want to export it to Android, Windows, and other devices. So that features itself is MVP. So even though MacBook is like already stable, but then the software is innovating. So every software is like an MVP. So after they launch it out for a year, they will see that, okay, what are the feedbacks that they get? And then they keep on fine-tuning it until the next year, they will launch the next new best MacBook ever. So same thing, next best iPhone ever. So this time we have fine-tuned this, that. So that is how they sell you the best iPhone ever. So we have to sell like them. We have to think like them as well. We want to build something, we at least get a certain amount of people validate the ideas first. So initially when they talk about poke, definitely they will say, if out of 100 people, 50 people is okay with poking features, then they will build that features. And they will see how is the interaction of poking in the long run. Poking was there because at that time, we used MSN or some other messenger, where we press the nudge button. So you get like the, so Facebook trying to bring that into their Facebook by calling it a poke. So you just poke someone else and then they get a notification. That's it. So that simple idea, but it's no longer useful right now.
Nowadays, we just straight go to the point, just go Messenger and say, hi, I would like to say this. So we no longer poke and then wait for them to be online in order to reply anything. So this is about evolution. It's about building the minimum viable product. Okay, let's look at the evolution of my aquaponics at home. So anyone want to make a guess why is there forks like poking out of the planting medium? So I was looking into aquaponic, then I first bought my own first set. I put it at home. I put a fork there. So this is my first iteration. So anyone wants to guess why is it so? Usually I will get the correct guess. Okay, so let me reveal the answer, yeah. So the answer is because my cat can actually jump on and then step on my plants and then they die. So this cat keep on stepping on it, and then my seedling never succeed. So my first iteration fails. So after putting the fork, I managed to deter him. So first iteration, putting in my fork. Then I realized that I'm lazy enough. I'm lazy that sometimes forgot to feed my fish and all that. So I took some DIY kit. I took my Arduino board. I put in some servo and then started building my own auto fish feeders. So that is my second generation. So I put in this so that I can feed my fish automatically. So in that case, the fish generates the poop. The poop fertilizes the plants. Okay, simple concept. Let's look at what I did next. So I keep on coming out with MVP, and then I asked my cat. No, the first version, I asked my cat to become my verifier, to become a tester. So my cat says, I can still jump in. So okay, put more different forks. Then after that, I realized that okay, now the cat no longer goes up, and the fish is happy, but the plants is growing very slow. So I bought some grow lights. Then I put my grow light to it. So it seems that okay, the plants is growing better now, but it's still not very good. So at the end of the day, after trying everything, even with grow light and all that, still not growing very well, I decided to just bring it outdoor. And finally, I get a very nice version of the aquaponic. So the conclusion is that sunlight is still the best, and your cat will not go out, and the sunlight is good, and the whole fish ecosystem, everything is well taken care of. So this is my version of MVP. So the first version, I get my cats to test it. The second version, I get my fish to test it. The third version, I get my plants to test it. And finally, I got one that is working well, which is to bring it outside and then let the sunlight do the job. I don't need to buy a grow light. And then I don't need to put fork as well. So I just scrapped the whole thing and almost like a rebuild. We already go through how to build a landing page. So with Wix itself, if you want to expand it to a full website, you can. But I would like to let you know another tool. It's called Marvel App. So imagine today that we want to build applications. We want to build applications that you can hold on hand and then let people to really feel it, or they can scroll, they can click on something and really interact with it. So we use Marvel App because if you use Marvel App, okay, the first application is free. I mean, the first prototype is free. So I use it to quickly prototype again, to show to people around me the concepts and the ideas that I have. So let's look at the actual version of it. First thing first, you create an account in marvelapp.com, and then you can create it later. Let me just go through it first. Okay, let's say I have like a 5 picture over here. Okay, so this one, there's no navigation on it. So I want to put like, let's say I click on sign in. I want to move to the second page. So I close it. I go to the next one. So if I click on this area, I want to somehow fill up the details. So after filling up the details, if I click on this, I want to jump to the next page. So this is a scrollable one. You can see it's quite long. And then if I click any of these, I will navigate to different places. So this makes me the first version of the MVP, despite being just a normal view picture. I'm able to quickly communicate my idea. Okay, let's see how it looks like in real situation. So it's still the Visit Malaysia Go app, the concept that we have earlier. So when I come in, I log in, I can actually click on this to sign in. Then I can tell them that, oh yeah, you proceed to type something, then you just, oh yeah, click on the username. Then I say, okay, I already pre-filled it. So I just pre-filled it. Then, okay, let me sign in. So you'll be led to this page. This page will allow you to know like what are the places nearby that you can go. Then you can tell them that, okay, let's scroll up and down. You can see different features. And this one is not the coolest thing. The coolest thing is that if you put it on the Marvel app on your iOS and Android, depending on which one you use, you are able to have the feeling as if it is like an app that is built up. So this is something that you can like, okay, you can then check like my trips, where I have actually gone through, what badges have I gone, and then you can go to like favorites. So if you like some stories and you want to like tag it, so you can make it a favorite, and then you can click on it and play a video. So you then create the interaction. So you then ask them for validation. You ask them, if this is an actual app, do you like it? Do you think what is the problem? So in that case, you can immediately get feedback on what might be wrong and what you want to fine tune. Okay, so this is the Marvel app. There are a lot of tools out there that you can use. So this is not something that I created. So if I just delete this, I can quickly create a new project and still get to that page, because that is actually one of the, coincidentally, one of the demo that they gave, let's say iPhone, and I say Visit Malaysia Go. So let's say this case. Then you just use an example prototype, and they already have the travel app. So that's why it's just a coincidence. So if you want to, let's say, go for other tools and other apps and all that, you are not a coder, but you somehow get people that can do some little design, you can just quickly get your interactions and everything out by using these tools. And if you happen to want to use some of their tooling, you want to start from scratch, say my new project, and you don't want to use the template because you're not working on the apps and all that. So we can then just say, I want to create a new one. So design in Marvel, it's not that hard in the sense that they already have some of the common things that you will need in a mobile application. So usually we will have things like a tab bar. So we just add the tab bar, we just move it down, scale it correctly, and we want to change a few things here and there. Then let's say we want to put in an image placeholder. This is usually we want to show that, okay, I have one picture here, I have two pictures here. So you can quickly do this, and then you can get a shareable link and then just put it on your phone and you can see the whole interaction of it. So this is very good when you want to quickly prototype something and explain your ideas. So in this case, you can tell people that this is what you want to do, and you can immediately get your feedback. So do note that today, starting of the session until now, we are only how many hours? And if we really sit down and poke around and really discuss, we are able to come up with something that can validate with the market. So these are the tools that I use. Besides Marvel, I use Proto.io, I use Figma. So it's really depending on your choice. Personally, I like Marvel because they give me one project for free per email. So email is something that we can get easily. And then to help startups to grow. But if you really want to buy and all that, that one is when you're expanding and all that. So I try to get the startups to try things out. They say, oh, very hard to get an app developer. So in this case, I would just get them to, you prototype, you tell me what are the things that you want. So they start putting things in, and then they start to see a clearer picture. They can even fine tune before they get developers to build anything. So that is the best thing, or a true beauty of MEBP. So remember, MEBP is not about building something. Even if it is a clickable version of it,
you can already call it a MVP. That means a clickable files, you can already call it MVP. So MVP, by definition, some people say, yeah, minimum viable product, but I would say that it's a development technique. Now, even if you Google search, you will still find that some says it's development technique, some says it's, yeah, minimum viable product, as in a product. But I would prefer to go with the development techniques. And if you read the book, Lean Startup, the blue color book, you will read that very interesting story as well. So in the year, when they started when the author started the first startup, he went on and say that there are too many messaging applications out there. So he wanted to build an application that combines all different applications. So he went on to study the APIs that is involved. How can I fine tune? How can I tweak this so that these messages can come into my app, and then when I register for one, I can have multiple accounts, this and that. And he went very far away and then spent like 9 months building everything. And then when he finally launched the thing, finally launched the app, nobody wants to use it. It's too complex. People don't understand the idea behind. So he then started calling his friends and all that, come to his office, see how they use the application. Then they slowly realized that, okay, people don't really care about other applications. They care about his own chat system. So you don't need to do any integration. In fact, you just have to fine tune his chat system. So his chat system is different because he wanted to create like a standardized avatar. So this standardized avatar allows you to talk to a lot of different people. And this application, then he then pivot into a version where you can find random strangers online to talk to and not exposing your true identity and using an avatar. So in this case itself, his project went big. Okay, so I got a question from no article here that what is the difference between Marvel and Wix if you want to prototype a website? Okay, if you want to prototype a website, just keep with Wix, it's fine. Because Wix will allow you to have a live version of a website. You can then get things like the measurement, you can then get things like analytics, you get things like subscribe email, everything built in. All you need to do is just pay a small fee. You can even get your own domain. You don't have to do any heavy lifting stuff. But if you want to prototype an application, then Marvel comes into the picture. So I would say that I won't really go with prototyping a website on Marvel. I will only use the Android and iOS features because I think that is what makes them good. So besides, like if I really want to say export this kind of thing, I can always get like deposition. And if I want to export them out I want to download in multiple sizes, I can do with Marvel. So they are much more better in terms of app development. I personally use it before I developed the actual app. Okay, Marvel and Glide, there are a lot of things, a lot of similar product out there. So Marvel, Proto.io, I used it before as well. And then some other tools like Glide, Figma, Adobe XD. So these are the tools that you can use. I'm just giving one example. So it's really up to you to go out and experience them. So I personally play with Marvel. So, and Marvel actually allows you to do like simple coding, like pressing a button, increase the counter, or something that simulate like an actual app. So started with this, I can then show it to people. And they even ask me, is this coded? So that is the kind of feeling that we can get. And then I would just say, oh no, it's not coded. I just want to get market validation before I jump on to build something. So if you want, say, a map and all that, you can just quickly drag things out. So these are the tools. They come out with a lot of major, everything that you need for a form is already there. I mean, anything that you need, even if you want to do like, say, a sign up page, you can just throw this thing here and then just delete the toolbox. And your sign up page is already done. And then if you want to say a login with Facebook, so login with Facebook page is already done. So if you want to mock up with what else? A sign in page. You want to do a product intro page. Okay, so product intro page is already done.
and then just fill up the picture. So you just double click here and then change picture. So just go and find the picture segment and then just change it. Okay, so these are the simple tools that we often use. So there are things like icons, there are things like, this one is much more the pre-built one. Very easy, like payment page, you want a payment page to just get a payment page out. You want things like a welcome page. Like, oh, some people say, I want a welcome page and then give me like 5 scrollable picture. So these are the things that you can do. Like say, okay, can you mock up from the home page itself? Yes, we can. So this is the home page. So, oh, can you mock up a camera features? So yeah, can. This is the camera features. So these are the mock-up that we usually do. Like we want it fast and say, okay, for example, the bus application, we'll just like do this map one, and then we'll start dragging it and then say, mocking up and say, okay, maybe I want to have a few buttons below. So I will just scroll up all the way and say, okay, there must be 3 buttons. So I just add this and then just drag it. And then the first one, I will call it map and then something, and then just copy and paste and do the interaction on the first page. Just drag whichever place I can do, where if I want to be able to click this, come to this page, I will just do that. Click this, go to another page. And then you just export it and view it on your phone. So viewing it on the phone is what gives you the idea of how smooth it is. So after knowing this, after we learn about Wix, after we learn about Marvel, pick one. If you are working on something, say, you can choose both as well. If you want to just poke around with Marvel, just quickly create the Marvel travel app that I've created. And then install Marvel, use the URL, play it on your phone. So you will know how it looks like. And then try the Wix as well. Further build it into, say, something that you can accept traction and all that.
Okay, so mine is very straightforward. So I actually don't know what I want to do for the website. So I just steal my husband business. So he is actually a carbon fiber specialist. Mostly what he did is actually he wrapped automotive parts or car parts or motorcycle using carbon fiber. So this is just a website that I actually prepared. So of course, I mentioned here that a new feature will be coming soon. Just stay tuned. This is the logo about carbon lab. Of course, the more details should be here. What are carbon fiber and what he did, but I didn't manage to complete this one. So all of these buttons are actually functioning. So people can actually just press the email here. And then each icon also lead to the social media itself. So this is going to the TikTok account. Yes, and this one going to the Facebook account.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the web main page, and then I also prepared shop. So I actually use a lot of time removing the background just now. Use Canva and to make sure that everything have the same size. Then I upload it here. So then that is why you see it's actually nicely done right now. But actually, customer can just click here and they can purchase it online, but they can see all details over here when they go here, like the colors, the price. So whenever they want to click this into their cart, they can process this, and then just similar to the how online shopping works actually. Yeah, so the chat button also working. So hi. So it will respond, we will get back to you soon. And this is the for mobile view.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it actually.
I think it's quite complete.
I wish to do more. I mean,
yeah,
to make sure that all the details are there, but I'll do it better after this lah.
Yeah, I think it's quite complete, and in the sense that if you really want to like work, I mean, include the add to cart and all that.
Yeah,
you can really just put it up as a website.
Yeah, I also want to do a booking. Because I found the booking. Where is it?
There's a plugin for booking.
Yeah, correct. There's a plugin for booking where they can actually schedule a time to meet in the site itself, so that they can see what they can do more lah with the product. So yeah, that's mine. Thank you.
That's very good. Good job. Yeah, can see that you put in a lot of effort trying to really get things out in this short period of time.
I'm resizing all the what do you call it? Still working on it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. You just show what you have done, and then at least others can see how can a website be done. I know you have shown just now to me, but the others might be working on their own
Very
website.
ugly.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. How do I address you, Ji Sheng?
Yeah, Ji Sheng.
Ji Sheng, give me 1 minute. Code Kit, right? Code
Okay.
Kit is the brand.
Okay.
My company name is Smart Seeds. So
Okay.
we are trying actually to adjust the size here. We're still working on it.
Yep. Looks good.
Right.
I think looks better than just now.
Yeah.
But the
Right.
wording is a little bit hard to see.
Exactly. Because I was like, it's very static.
Changing a background, right?
Yeah, the background is very limited. So we can get it elsewhere, right?
Yeah, you can just Google and then look for those that have no
Copyright.
no copyright. Then you can always use them.
Yeah. So about what is this? I'm not in the editor page, right?
Yeah, in the editor page.
I am. How do I go? Preview, right? Okay.
This is nicer.
Yeah, we were adjusting the page just now.
Okay, so you added a background to make it the same size, lah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a free trial learner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see your WhatsApp photo.
Yeah.
I mean the buttons are put it there.
Yeah.
So no matter which page you go, they will still stay there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me just go. I think so. About, yeah, it's still
Yeah.
there.
So that is called the navigation bar. So if you put it there, that means it will always be there regardless of which page you go.
Yeah.
So I think good job. Just keep fine tuning a little bit here and there. Maybe the logo at the top left, your code
Yeah,
kit.
yeah, code kit,
There's
yeah.
a small computer over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the computer. I mean, this thing have to be a logo lah.
This is a logo. How do I can just like
Make it bigger.
make it bigger? This one I have to go back to editor,
Yeah,
right?
go back to editor. I think you can just make it bigger. Otherwise, it's too small.
And then download my own logo here,
Yes.
right?
Yes. You can just click on it and make it bigger, right? Or you can even make like the code kit and then 1-to-1 and then online coding lesson in the next row.
Right.
Yeah, then that will be more organized and better looking. So I will just go through what we have learned today. Just recap again everything that we see as opportunity and all that. When I do mockup and all that, right? Because I use MacBook, so I have this tools called Sketch App that I have been using for many years now. So Sketch App gives me a lot of app mockups and all that the community has created, say like marketplace app and all that. So if I randomly search one like a travel app for free, I got something like this. So I really have like a lot of pages. So when I just drag all the pages here, I can easily just click on them and then make them navigate. Then I just play and I can get the prototype. So these are the tools that I use. Personally, I like Sketch because back then, like 5 years, 6 years ago, Sketch gave me the select and extract the Android and iOS resources and put it in the correct folder. That means they don't extract like 1x, 2x, 3x, and then expecting me to put them into folders. They can even put into different Android folders and all that. So that is what I like with Sketch app resources. I mean, Sketch is actually the name of the app, a golden diamond card that only available in Mac. So if you're not Mac users, then you can't really use it. And they are all in vectors, and those icons and all that won't go pixelated, and really good one. So this is something I personally like. Marvel I personally like because of the it looks like and feels like app. But if you want to mock up a design for website, we will use Figma because of the simplicity of some of the tools is available. And then for website drag and drop, definitely I will go for Wix. But if it is for coding basis, then I have a multiple different recommendations. But that is for the coding people. Okay, so let's do a big recap of what we have learned or what we have gone through today. So today itself is, I think, the third week for all of you, all the ecosystem builder. So a little bit introduction about myself, my first startup, my second startup, my third startups, and then my current company that is focusing on training and guidance. So we talk about digitalization. We talk about how we learned previously and how are we learning right now. And then we talked about how we work in an office environment, and currently we can work remotely. And then we talked about how we do farming back then, and how do we do farming right now. So we are saving more space with technology. We are doing a lot of yeah. You can have my contact number later. I will PM you. Okay, and then how we buy food has changed. How we track our movement, how we track our health has changed, and then how we pay for parking has changed. Previously, we go pay at the counter, then we go and pay for automated automated paying machine. And today we use AI to recognize number plate. You just drive in and drive out. You don't even need to do the payment actions anymore. And then we play different types of game now. We have already gone through even the metaverse level, virtual reality, where you are just punching the air and then somehow it's abstracting. Like Nintendo Switch also have a lot of game that helps you to be active and stay active in the pandemic. So these are the type of game that we have changed as well. Last time we have to bring along measuring tape, and we have to go and measure the furniture, and then we're back home. We have to roughly imagine if yellow will looks good or blue will looks good. So in that case itself, we have changed as well. And then currently we just use augmented reality technology, and we can definitely know if it is right or wrong. And we can quickly change color as well. And we know that, okay, this might be suitable. And then how we order food is changed. Food Panda, Grab Food, and now we have like Shopee Food. These are the up and coming ones. Already started changing how we buy foods, even though they charge slightly higher, but that is the convenience that they give you. And then we talk about how it was very tedious to do like a keeping of those receipts and all that. Today we have applications that just keep track of this. Auditor just have to go through it, and even the claiming or the claim process will be easier. Okay, artwork has changed, NFT. So when we were in breakout room, some of you already know NFT. So some says, what do you think about NFT and all that? So personally, I think NFT is something to look at. It will be there to stay, but don't rush into it. We call it the fear of missing out, FOMO. So if you FOMO into something that you don't understand, you might lose money. So don't go for big investment. Just read and understand that this technology exists, and how it might go, we will have to look and see. And then gamers right now are actually making a lot of money, and no longer just the naughty guy that don't want to study, play games. So we no longer need to, we can get more certainty, we get more data day by day. And then the trend in technology itself have changed. Let's look at it. So AI makes things well-known, well-known for the ability to actually do image processing, speech recognition, identify the most optimized route, and a lot more these kind of things. So remember that AI requires data. If the data you give is dirty, it will always end up with a dirty decision. So you want to make sure that the data source that you get is good source, because if it is a dirty data, it's just useless. So we want something that is useful, so we can make decision that is useful as well. Okay, so this is how AI see things. You can train a model that is very good in recognizing where is the car. You can train a model that's very good in recognizing where is the truck. You can train a model that's very good in recognizing where's the bicycle. where's the person, and what is the traffic like. Then different machine learning algorithm comes together to tell you whether you want to go straight or go left or go right. Think from this perspective, and you will easily know how to break down a complex complex problem so that you can find a solution. So AI tracking of human is already getting more and more well known. And then the Internet of Things give us more data, raw data that we can use in a lot of scenario. Like farming industry is really changing in other countries. And in Malaysia, we are slowly catching up. So hopefully more and more agriculture, agri-tech will be coming out to help the farmers. Successful use cases, shrimp farming and paddy field is well known, I mean, successful use cases in Malaysia. 5G makes things even faster. So if we really have to do like a metaverse kind of a meeting, we will need a 5G internet connection, or at least a faster version of 4G, so that we don't have the latency, we don't have the lagginess. So this is something that we want to look for. Drone technology is something to look at as well. Using drone to do surveillance of building, using drone to take pictures of whatever building that you cannot go, or places that it's very hard to reach. So drone can help in that. So drone can also send things like, say, remote area across the river that you might actually take a few hours to drive there. You might want to use drone. And then drone can reach tall trees that we cannot reach, to spray pesticide and all that. So this is something that we can look into. Cloud computing essentially just means that you don't see, or you don't manage the servers because the whole server farm is actually elsewhere. And in fact, cloud computing is actually underwater, because underwater they can use the water to actually cool down the whole servers. So cloud computing is coming from this. Blockchain, particularly on cryptocurrency and non-cryptocurrency. For cryptocurrency use cases, we have already known, like Bitcoin and others. This is also another cryptocurrency-based gaming that helps people make money. And then another way of the actual way of a blockchain is actually about tracking, say, identity, or tracking a batch of things, how they actually travels to and all that. Okay, then augmented reality. We talk about Pokemon Go. We talk about if we are able to use tourism is able to use augmented reality, so that when they reach a particular town, they can just look in the surrounding to capture their own badges, the achievement of the badges. And at the same time, they can look for some clue and maybe some hidden message, like, okay, a long time ago, this area was done because of something happened, some incident happened. So this, we can use AR for that. And then virtual reality. So this is what I was talking about, the metaverse. So you can see your friends in the metaverse, and then you can use virtual reality, or you can just use a normal laptop and then you use your mouse to move, or use your keyboard to move around. But some people really use virtual reality as in they are walking. So we are getting closer to player one ready. Don't worry, no Atika, you can present later. So don't worry, I will give you time to present. We just recap what we have learned today, and then we will give you all to present another round before we end today's session. So virtual reality game is where it all started. So the first exercise that we do is actually to think of what are the things that is not digitalized yet, and how we wish that that we can actually change this. And I've shared the national app that you can give suggestion to our MCMC and Mampu, so really let them build something for you. So voice out in that area. So find that way to actually go in, and then we can voice out from that area. Okay, so introduction to landing page. A landing page must be with a specific target. So the target is to actually get visitors to the end goal. like clicking a button, filling up a form. And then we have a conversion funnel. So visitors will convert your leads. That means there are a lot of ways visitors can come by a paid search, can be organic search, or it can be someone sharing your content through referral. So in that way, our ultimate goal is actually to track whether they convert or not. If they can convert into sales, that is a good one. Okay, so the landing page itself, headline is very important. So when we come in, we must have a very eye-catchy headline, must grab their attention. Like in this case, enjoy flexible payments and then pay later. So this is like a very catchy headline. And then unique selling point. So this one is like a free landing page, even if you don't have credit card and all that. So these are the unique selling points or unique selling propositions for the landing page. And then it must have like a key benefits. So they tell you that you can pay in 4 months or you can pay the next month. As long as you don't pay now. So this is the idea that the landing page is trying to do. Use videos, use image. It will help you to really engage better with your audience. Like just now we have the carbon fiber. So if you have like some short or video clips and all that, then that will help them to visualize it better. And then we want to reinforce them and tell them that, okay, this is good. Or keep on telling them that we have no hidden charges. So in reinforcing the headline and convince them again. So you can see that a good landing page will always convince them. And then closing the arguments. So we will, when we scroll down, they will just tell you that, oh yeah, we have all the brands you love, shop online now. So these kind of things is the call to action. A landing page must have a call to action so that we are able to convert into sales. Okay, so call to action, very important, critical to really convert people, like Shopify. They tell you that sell online with Shopify, it is trusted by over 1 million businesses worldwide. So put your email here so that you can start the free trial. So the next exercise that we do is actually we look into, we explore what Wix can provide us. We play around with different Wix, and some of you really came out with your own website and landing page, and that's a very good one. So we will then move on to another things. We will move on to really look into MVP. So MVP itself means it's a concept, it's a technique, it's a development technique. So it's not really about the product. It's not about the minimum viable product per se. It's about the development technique that we can use. So we always start with an idea, we talk to somebody, and then we build something, bare minimum, just a plain website, just some clickable stuff, and then we validate the ideas, and then we will definitely get some feedback. When we get a lot of feedback, we can always improve our application. So never shocks and theory. This is what I usually tell. Because a lot of people think that their ideas is so great, they keep it to themselves. They don't want to talk to people. Yeah, my idea is the world best, world class. I will keep it to myself until I build the whole thing. So at the end of the day, they build something that nobody actually wants. So that's very dangerous. So talk to people. If you cannot trust anyone, then talk to people that you know, like your family members and all that. Even though your family members, if you ask them 9 ideas, they will say, all the 9 ideas is very good. If you ask them 10 ideas, they will still say 10 ideas is very good because they will always support you. So it might not be very good feedback. So it's better to find from your friends and all that. So a minimum viable product, always build, measure, learn. After that, you build again, and then you measure again, you learn again. So it's a concept, okay? So we look at how Facebook grow. We look at how MacBook grow. If you are in doubt of whether your product is good enough, always remember that iPhone in every launching will say, this is the best iPhone ever created, because every year they say the same thing. And we know that every year they are doing improvement on top of the previous model. So they always have the best version. Like whatever website that you guys created today, whatever landing page that you created today, is the best version that you have today. In a week time, they can change. They can change for the betterment. They can change to be better. So always be okay or cheerful with whatever you have done. because you may be time constrained, just 3 hours and all that, and you maybe you have your kids at home, kids running around making noise and all that, and you still manage to get something out of it. So it's a very good job already. So don't worry about it. Talk about how my aquaponic evolved, and at the end of the day, I actually just moved it outside. So nothing innovation. Initially wanted to do an indoor farming, but the water is too noisy, and then my cat is kacau, keep kacau my plants, and the grow light just not working well. So at the end of the day, I moved the whole thing out, and my fish actually died in the process. A bit sad, but yeah, that's the thing that I learned. So Marvel app to really help you to prototype and use the application, so that in mobile you can do like the swiping features and all that. Not bad. Maybe there's a better app that coming out. We can always try different applications. And so far, I still think this is not bad. Okay, so with that, we allocated more time to either finish your landing page or to discover the tools to build MVP. So with that, remember, MVP is about innovating. Every time we have things is MVP. And thank you very much for having me today in the session. Any questions for me before we go back to Atika's?
My prototype is the website itself. This is my landing page slash prototype. My landing page would be the homepage of my website. The name of this product is Good Venture Sarawak. This product will centralize everything that a social entrepreneur in Sarawak needs to know in order to start or scale up their business. This is the landing page. I got this picture from Unsplash, and then it talks about why this product is needed, or product or service why this platform is available for them. It's to disrupt the ecosystem of social enterprise in Sarawak. And then what sort of services that we offer in this platform? These are the 5 services the things that I can think of top of my head. The mentor-mentee program, and then they can book administrative or legal assistance. And then the idea is actually to create a community among social entrepreneurs in Sarawak. And then the call to action would be to sign up for an account, because I did a little digging, and Wix apparently can have some sort of social media accounts and also forums for the members. So aside from the homepage, which is my landing page, we also have the SE roadmap. This one I haven't fully perfected it yet, but this is sort of the draft for it. It will show if you want to be a social, if you want to build a social enterprise, how can you start? And then the roadmap will show, will make it easier for you to assess the growth or performance of your social enterprise. And then depending on where you are at the roadmap, we have like agencies and programs that can help you in scaling up your social enterprise. And then there's the login and sign up feature. You can easily log in or sign up with the Facebook or Google account. And since I have signed up with my Facebook account, I can simply log in. So once I logged in, there's this, my profile. I can actually post my status as well. Here is my private, my public profile. And then there is a forum. The forum is to connect social entrepreneurs in Sarawak for them to sort of create a discussion. We want to start a discussion, and then from this discussion, you can identify what sort of gaps or what sort of problems that they're facing and how we can help. Then we can, from the discussion, we can also plan out like what sort of funding programs or upskilling programs you can do to help them. So yeah, this is basically a prototype and the landing page.
That's very good. I think this is way beyond just a not usable prototype. This is actually a usable prototype. And in fact, if you really want to just add the domain name, you can already put the domain name and go out already. Because I think everything is there. Your sign up, sign in, you have done it, and then some basic idea, you have already got it.
A very
I'm
good
quite
job.
impressed
Well done.
that Wix have this for free, the forum and the sign up apps for free.
Yeah. I always poke around with a lot of the things for free. I managed to poke around with AWS for free and still build a lot of things. So I always go and play around, you know, how to trick them into giving you a free stuff.
Yeah. Thank you so much for assessing.
Okay, I think a very good one. I like the way the things is done, and maybe just a few pictures, cropping issues here and there. Like the SE roadmap, I can't see the full picture. I think the top part and the bottom part got cut off.
Yeah, the alignment is pretty challenging lah.
Yeah. So with other than that, I think everything is okay. Looks
Thank
okay to
you.
me. And I think the blog pages part still need to change lah. The page title, and then this is the paragraph and all that in services. So besides that, I think the forum part looks quite cool. And you should actually enjoy invite everyone here to be part of your ecosystem and start helping you to grow. So we can help each other to grow.
Yeah, if you guys want to sign up with your Google or Facebook account, feel free to do it.
Yep,
It's just one click.
definitely gonna sign up. It's actually good to share, as when you share, you try to present what you want to present, and sometimes when you try to present things, you realize that, hey, why is this picture like this, or why is this button looks a little bit weird. Then in that way you can actually just change a little bit and fine tune it. So that's the idea of doing MVP. So after we do, we get some feedback, whether it's good feedback, whether it's a bad feedback. We accept all of them and then we improve it. So good job for everyone that actually go through the whole session today, and hope you guys have fun playing around with Wix, playing around with all the other tools.
All right. Okay. I would like to say thank you so much to Ji Sheng Tan for today. This session is great. And I would like to say thank you so much for everybody who came today. We really appreciate your participation today. And also, before we end, I would like to remind you guys that tonight we will have a mentoring session at 9 p.m. and there will be a class tomorrow, so at 9 a.m. All right. So I hope we can see you guys later tonight. And I think that's it. If you guys have any question, you guys can hit me up. And the new Telegram group link, you guys can go and click the link to join the group. The group is just additional information. If you guys want to get easy information there, we will pass through the Telegram group. All right, I guess that's it. That's it from me. And thank you guys for today. And bye bye. Thank you guys. See you tonight.